Go. Hello, everybody. This is TNT, back with the Press Circle to Ping podcast, where we put down our controls and dive headfirst into the world of wrestling. It's episode 5, the granddaddy of them all, Wrestlemania 32.
We're a little late on this, but give us a break. We have had things to do.
We had a lot for WrestleMania weekend. WrestleMania has a lot to live up to here because we both gave the NXT TakeOver Dallas a glowing review. I believe you gave it a B+, I think?
Yeah, and you were like A- or something?
So, WrestleMania has a lot to live up to this year. Plus we had the Hall of Fame, which we only really touched upon briefly for about 30 minutes. But now we actually get to the real big, juicy, meaty part of the WrestleMania weekend. WrestleMania pay-per-view itself.
Oh boy.
Alright, so to break a little bit from tradition, we are going to be talking about the pre-show because we actually both watched this pay-per-view live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we were both quite prominent on Twitter that night, weren't we?
I think we were.
Yeah. How long was the show actually? It was about, 7 fucking hours?
I don't know. It was a long time.
At least 6. It was the very least 6 hours with everything. I didn't actually get to bed until the show didn't finish until 5 a.m. for me. I didn't get to bed till 5:30. I didn't get to sleep until after 6. It was a long fucking night for me.
You were probably so burnt out by the time it was over.
Surprisingly enough, no, and I didn't really have any repercussions from it, which is surprising. But then again, I don't have these really late nights anymore. I'm getting a little bit too old for that shit.
Right.
Alright, so we have the WrestleMania pre-show happening first. I think this lasted about an hour and a half in total, the pre-show.
About so, I'd like to say. I mean,
Yeah,
there were three matches, and
they had all the interview segments, the panel segments and all that as well.
In total match time, there was about like 25 minutes of match time combined for the 3 matches combined. But
I was going to say, in the first bullet point I have here is the fact that the arena was actually only half full for a good hour of the pre-show. Apparently, I can't remember where I read it, but a lot of people had trouble even getting into the arena for the show. I don't know why. Don't ask me, I wasn't there, but if you're wondering why it was only half full at this point, that's your reason. Apparently there was some problem getting into the actual arena. Or the stadium, whatever it was.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't really take any notes like the panels and stuff because, quite honestly, it's pretty much the same one that was there for NXT, I believe. So, match number 1, the WWE United States Championship. I was gonna say shit then. Kalisto versus Ryback.
It was kind of an interesting choice to go first for the pre-show. I mean,
I can't say I'm surprised though.
It was the only one of the 3 were on the pre-show that had any championship to be defended.
I think it was obvious they were going to have at least one championship match on the pre-show. To be honest, I don't really think there was any of the other championships that would have really been on. I mean, you had the ladder match for the IC. You weren't going to put the WWE Championship on the pre-show.
No.
The Women's Championship, I think, deserves to be on the actual pay-per-view, and the Tag Team Championships weren't even defended, so yeah.
No.
Just think, a couple months ago, the US title was actually starting to mean something again as well.
Yeah, no, right?
Yeah. Anyway, we get the match starting off with a standoff and a pretty loud Goldberg chant to start off with as people mocking Ryback, as they like to do.
Oh, do they ever?
Oh, tell me about it.
He'll never be able to escape it.
Nope. Ryback manhandles Kalisto for a while. Kalisto comes back with a bulldog off the top rope and a missile drop kick to double knees outside, where Ryback reverses the move. Ryback then carries Kalisto back into the ring, up the steps, by the way. He's got him on his shoulders at this point, just walking around, very casually. Hey, do you like this Ryback on my... you like this Kalisto on my head? We get a modified Michinoku driver for a 2 count from Ryback, which was weird.
It was something.
Then a massive standing suplex on the top rope, which again was really cool to see actually. Ryback holding Kalisto up there for what had to be a good solid 20 seconds or so. I
That
think he
was
actually shouted "Wrestlemania moment, baby" or something like that while he had him up.
WrestleMania moment. I hope you're having fun on the pre-show.
If he considers that a WrestleMania moment, then the moments have really gone downhill.
Mm,
It was an interesting move, and it definitely showcased his strength, but it wasn't really that impressive. At
no.
least not to be considered a big moment for the pay per view. But it gets reversed anyway, as Kalisto turns it into a crossbody for a 2 count. Kalisto does mount something of a combat, but it's stopped by a massive spine buster from Ryback.
I,
Sorry.
I was honestly expecting that a kind of move like that would happen. Like he'd be getting a lot of build up, and then all of a sudden here comes a giant tames the little guy move. I've seen it so many times in
It's
some
your basic
matches.
big man, little man matchup.
Pretty much.
Then we get an interesting moment. The turnbuckle cover gets removed. I actually thought it was by accident, but I don't know if they decided just to go with it or not. But it just sort of flew off the fucking thing.
Hey, just like, yeah, I don't want to be in this match anymore.
You can actually see it. It just sort of jumps across the screen. It was just really fucking weird. I think it was probably meant to be a spot anyway, but because I didn't actually see either Ryback or Kalisto try and remove the padded part of the turnbuckle. So I'm guessing the ring, the people that put the ring up just didn't put it on correctly for the match.
That was probably the case.
Yeah, Ryback goes head first straight into the to the exposed turnbuckle, and Kalisto gets to Selena Del Sol for the 3 count and retains the U.S. Championship.
I was just really glad that I was pretty glad that they actually had Kalisto win. I was too afraid they were gonna go the too much obvious route, but thankfully they're at least giving Kalisto a good run with the title so
Yeah, I
far.
have to admit, I thought my prediction here was that Ryback was going to take the title because you know what WWE are like with the
Right.
bigger guys and stuff. So yeah, it was actually nice to see Kalisto win. I saw nothing wrong with the match. It was a decent opener, I guess, short and sweet. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. It wasn't a fantastic match by any stretch, but it was good.
Yeah.
Uh, don't you usually rank the matches?
This match was alright. I didn't have too many major complaints. It personally wasn't anything too special, but
Like
I'd
it's on the
say,
pre-show, so what do you expect?
right, I'd say I probably would have given it B minus.
Fair enough. Um, Again, there was probably another panel here for about 15-20 minutes. I'm not sure. As I said, I didn't really make note of them.
I've already lost track of most things that happened because of
It's
everything.
been over a week since the pay-per-view, so
Right.
yeah, I'm going off my notes here, and essentially, I'm just letting anything that comes to my mind come back to my mind and I'll say it.
Right.
So we apologize for this, guys. We do try and get the podcast done shortly after the pay-per-view has been up, but we can't always guarantee. Life gets in the way. We've both got other obligations, so
No.
okay, he doesn't have obligations then.
What, me?
Never mind, it was a joke. Anyway,
To be fair, to be fair, that I'm usually just here for the ride sometimes.
yeah. You always have your input. Anyway, next match, as I said, first of all, there was probably panels in between, but nothing was fucking said of note, really, so.
No.
At least not until after this match, but I'll go into that when we get to it. Next match, Total Divas versus Bad and Blonde. Total Divas consisting of Brie Bella, Paige, Natalia, Natalia, not Natalie. I've got Natty here, so I essentially think of Natalie, but
Well,
yeah,
that is a
Natalia.
nickname.
Natalia, Alicia Fox, Eva Marie versus Bad and Blonde, consisting of Lana, Emma, Naomi, Tamina, and Summer Rae. Oh boy.
Did you mention Emma or?
Yeah, I said Emma.
You said it so fast. I thought you just
Yeah,
like.
I said Lana,
Tamina,
Emma. Yeah.
It was like and Summer Rae. That's
Yeah.
what I heard. But
Anyway,
yeah, basically,
this was.
to give you an idea, don't care about that Brie Bella. Paige is alright. I really do like Natalia. Don't care for Alicia Fox. Hell no for Eva Marie. No.
Oh, God, no. Fuck no.
And for Bad and Blood, I do like Lana. At least I'm glad they're at least doing a little bit more with her. Naomi's a bit underrated in my opinion. Tamina, I do think Emma's been doing it better, and no thanks for Summer Rae.
Yeah, the only two women in this match I actually like are Paige and Natalia. So the
Yeah,
others, I think they're either mediocre or just outright bad, like Eva Marie. So
yeah. The worst thing is when they were not putting her into the match, they expected her when she was coming on Raw to
I
get like a
know.
face reaction, and I'm thinking, how can you be that stupid?
Well, it's WWE. What do you expect? I know I've heard conflicting arguments about that, but I really wouldn't surprise me at all if they thought Eva Marie would get like a welcome back pop. The crowd usually give for people coming back after a long stint away. I know she's only been in NXT, but for normal WWE crowd who don't watch it, this would have been like a comeback.
Yeah, but
It
that
kind
didn't
of
work out.
backfired on them, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest here, I wasn't exactly sure who were the good guys.
I guess Team Hall Divas were supposed to be the good people.
I guess, as I said, I don't watch Raw very often. If I do, it's only like one or two of the segments, so I really couldn't have told you who was supposed to be the face and the heels. The only ones that I technically cheered for was, or at least wanted to win, was Total Divas because it had Paige and Natalia in it, and that was it. I really
Yeah,
couldn't
they
give a
were the
fuck
face.
anyway.
They were the face ones. So.
Yeah, anyway, to the notes. Summer Rae and Alicia Fox start things off. I botched Tilda World backbreaker right off the bat. I will say, thankfully, that this was one of only few actual botches in this match. Thankfully, the women did do a decent job of actually just getting through the match, apart from one or two moments. All 10 of the ladies get into the ring, and then we actually go to a break.
Yep. Which was like, what?
Yeah, I know. I was like, what the fuck's going on here? Thankfully, it's not something that happens during the actual pay-per-view, but it does happen during the pre-show, so we do miss a little bit of action. Well, I suppose I should be thankful, really. I get a break from this match, but...
Right.
Anyway, back from the break, Eva Marie, oh god, and Emma are in the ring, and the
Oh.
crowd are booing Eva so badly.
Yeah, it was bad. It was just. It was. Oh
I know,
God.
it was fucking stupid. They just should have put her on Team Bad on Blonde, for fuck's sake. I don't know.
Honestly, that would have been a smart decision.
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking, trying to get her to be a fucking face. It's the same what they're doing with Reigns, but we'll go into that more later. My next note...
Well, with rings, well, yeah, we'll get to that later.
Yeah. My next note isn't actually about the match, but I must have noticed something about... Because WTF is Natty wearing? She must have been wearing something really weird.
Yeah,
As I said,
it's
it's been a while, so I don't remember, guys. I'm just reading my notes. Paige gets in, and she does get a decent pop. I think she does like the CM Punk running knee into the corner.
I think so.
Yeah, it looked pretty smooth, actually. A lot better than fucking Ryback's and John Cena's, at least.
How about that? Two guys who do the same move, and a girl does it better than them.
Yeah. A nice wheelbarrow suplex from Emma, and then a nice bicycle kick from Lana. Tamina gets tagged in and takes control of Paige, who's been in this match for probably the longest time at this point. A good 5 minutes, I want to say. Maybe not that long, but definitely longer than everyone else. Paige gets a flying crossbody to Team Bad and Blonde outside, and then Paige tags in Brie. The yes kicks get a big reaction from the crowd. Obviously, they will, because
Thankfully.
yeah. A face buster for a 2 count, also known as the X Factor to anyone that doesn't know what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
All the women then come back in and start hitting their finishes or just something big. Brie goes to the top rope but gets knocked off by Lana. But she does manage to get the little yes locked on Naomi for a submission tap.
That was
Total
a
Divas
nice
win.
touch. Yeah, that was a pretty nice touch for the ending. And one thing I will lead into with that was that for time being, that's probably going to be Brie Bella's. That could either be Brie Bella's last match for good or just for now, because a couple days after WrestleMania, she announced she was taking an extended break from wrestling to cite family
I
reasons.
think she's gone.
And that she is going to continue working with WWE as an ambassador.
Yeah. I mean, she'll probably make an appearance here and there, but I think she's gone for now, to be honest. I don't see her coming back. There's no reason for her to be there. I don't like either of the Bella twins very much, but out of the two of them, I will say I think Nikki is actually the more gifted wrestler.
Yeah, and Nikki neck injury has been so bad that it could have almost forced her so there are some sites saying she may never wrestle again
Well,
because of it.
that's not what I really meant. What I meant is like Nikki's the better wrestler, and from the rivalry. Sorry, sounded like Scooby Doo for
Blah
a
blah
second.
blah blah
I
blah.
thought you're channeling Scooby Doo there for a second. Um, when Bray and Nikki were having their rivalry back in whenever it was, you could tell that Nikki was the better wrestler, but she was also a lot better on the microphone as well. So it seems
Right,
like the only thing Bray has going for her is the fact that she's married to Daniel Bryan.
possibly.
And she's not terrible, don't get me wrong, she's definitely not the worst diva in the match, but
Definitely no Eva Marie.
yeah, but yeah, I don't see a huge career for her if she does decide to continue on. I think she would just be better off retiring at this point.
Probably.
But I've got here, it was a very mediocre match. It could have been a lot worse, but it was nothing spectacular.
Pretty much. It's just
But one thing to note is the fact that Nikki Bell did come out at the end to celebrate with her sister and the others, so
yep.
she's still wearing that neck brace. Looks fucking stupid.
Well, unfortunately, she can't really. She doesn't really have doesn't really have a decision to take it off. Kind of has to
I
wear it.
would have
Sadly.
thought if they allowed someone to walk around as that easily, that you wouldn't need a neck brace.
Possibly.
I don't know. Maybe she does still need it, or maybe it's for like dramatic purposes. I don't know. I don't really care, to be honest, either.
No,
So overall,
your
great.
care was not there.
Not a single fuck to be seen.
Nope.
But yeah, mediocre match at best, I suppose. What about you?
It was all right. It wasn't terrible, but you know,
Oh, fair enough. Next, we do get a cool promo.
probably like a C.
Yeah, it was really nothing spectacular. But then,
Oh.
as I said, it could have been a lot worse considering some of the women that were in this match.
I'm never gonna get tired of
Hating on
ripping on.
Eva, yeah.
People will be like, "Get over it. She's successful in life, and you aren't."
She's
I'm
the
like,
only reason she's successful is the fact that the fucking company like her while the crowd can't stand her.
pretty much.
Then wasn't she supposed to be dating Michael Hayes or something?
What? Where did you hear this? I never knew this.
Something like, I don't know. It's a rumor or something. I can't remember. But anyway, let's get off the Total Divas Bad and Blonde match, shall we? Because we've got some at least decent things to talk about.
Yes.
First of all, straight after the match, I think we get a very interesting promo setting up the Shane and Taker match for the actual pay-per-view later on. But the actual interesting thing here is we actually cut to Lita, who is currently in the ring, cutting a promo about the women of the past, talking about the women of now in general. And then, finally, we get to see something good. We get to see the brand new Women's Championship belt.
Thank
Fucking God. No more Divas Championship.
No more
now...
stupid butterfly. It's now gone off into the wild where it belongs to never be seen again.
And they've dropped the Divas moniker as well. It's now the Women's Championship.
Good. The thing, interestingly, about this championship is they're treating it as if it's a brand new championship. It's not carrying the same lineage as the original women's championship.
Yeah, that doesn't really bother me much, to be honest, because...
Oh no, it doesn't bother me either. I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I think... one thing, I don't think it looks as nice as the All Women's Championship did, but... I will say one thing. I absolutely love the fact that it's pretty much the same as the men's championship.
Right.
Because it actually makes it feel like it's just as important as the men's championship. Other than the color being white rather than black that the WWE championship is, it's exactly the same thing practically, and I absolutely love that.
Well, the thing is, I kind of like that it's similar in a way to the main championship because it makes it feel like they're fighting for the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it gives it like an
Yeah, I can't actually say it. Fuck. Equality? Something like that?
an equality, yeah. Like
Quality, yeah.
that's what I'm gonna guess how you say
It's
it.
pretty much the same, yeah. Like you say, it's because the design's so similar, it makes it feel on par of the WB Championship.
Right.
At least it does for me, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what were your first impressions? I mean, like I said, I was actually, yes, that's a championship the women should be fighting for when it was revealed.
I was happy.
Yeah, believe me, so was I. Especially when they dropped the Divas term for the title. I fucking hated that since they implemented it back in, what, 2008, 2009, whatever.
Pretty much.
Alright. Anyway, last match of the pre-show. The Usos versus the Dudley Boys. Oh boy, here we go.
Okay.
Quick start from the Dudleys, pretty much cleaning house, and we want tables chant from the crowd off the bat. Quick
Not
question,
surprised.
actually, because you watch Raw more than I do, but who's supposed to be the faces in this match?
Usos.
Really?
Yep.
Because they got fucking booed big time.
Yeah, the Dudley Boys over the last period of time had turned into heels. They had a few months run as faces, but then they turned heels because like at the beginning of February, like like they were gonna go and one of their gimmicks for turning heels is they were gonna go table free for the first time because they mentioned that their signature tables did not win all those tag team championships for them, but rather they just did it themselves.
It's fair enough, but it does seem like no Samoan at the moment can get over, doesn't it?
Although here's the thing. The next night on Raw, they defeated the Usos in a tables match, which broke their vow to never again use tables.
So maybe they've decided to... I don't know if they've turned the Usos heel, but I think they're probably looking at turning the Dudleys face again.
Well, not exactly, but I'll explain that later.
Alright, fair enough. Like I didn't actually watch Raw, I just read the highlights, notes and stuff. I didn't actually watch any of it, so...
Right.
Alright, well, during the match, Bubba is giving some shit big time to the Usos. Talking about how they're going to beat them just like they did to their daddy, who obviously is Rikishi.
But I just thought I kind of got a bit of a laugh out of that.
Bubba's a fucking amazing heel.
Oh yeah, he's always been a great heel.
Yeah.
I personally think if he came back, and basically he had a singles run, I think he'd be doing a really good job.
Absolutely. And not to take anything away from any other company, like say, he is a former TNA champion after all. Because he got himself over big time there, so... But yeah, the Dudleys remain firm in control for the beginning of the match. We get the "What's up?" Then we get the "Get the tables" chant. A double super kick from the Usos. And then I think the Dudleys did their suplex neckbreaker move. Not the 3D, obviously, but something similar.
Something like that.
They do go for a 3D, but it gets denied again by super kicks for 3 counts. And that was it. The match lasted, I think, about 3 minutes in total. It was a very short match. And seriously, the Usos know any other moves other than the fucking super kick?
It certainly doesn't feel like they do.
It fell at every... Here's the thing. The super kick has become so overused right now. You know, these guys do it. Dolph Ziggler does it. Kevin Owens does it.
It's such a common move.
Yeah. I used to love when HBK did the super kick. Now I just can't fucking stand it. It's gotten so boring to watch. But yeah, again, just another mediocre match. It didn't last long. It should have had at least another 5 minutes, in my opinion.
Right.
After the match, the Dudleys go for some tables. They set up the double power bombs, but it gets denied again by double super kicks. The Usos then go up top and do the frog splash or whatever through the tables to the Dudleys, and the crowd boo. They really don't like the Usos.
No, they're just... The problem with the Usos is that they pretty much have been the same.
They haven't changed since they fucking got there.
No, and people are starting to pick up on that. They're the same goddamn thing for like 5 years now, and some people are wondering. Okay, they've been around longer. They've apparently been around since 2009. So
yeah, that sounds about right.
7 years.
Yeah,
it's getting ridiculous. Same.
And people wonder why we have a problem with Reigns.
Yeah. They'd be more over if they actually changed their gimmick somewhat.
Or at least do something. Neither guy really has much in terms of promo skills. they haven't really changed up their fucking match motif much. You know, like I say, it's a bunch of super kicks, a Samoan drop here and there, a big splash, and I
Right.
really can't think of anything else they do, to be honest, in the ring.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway, the last couple minutes of the pre-show, we have the panel. You can hear Michael Cole getting booed on his way down to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
JBL gets cheered, surprisingly enough, but then again, it's in Texas, so it doesn't really surprise me that much.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, where else is he gonna get cheers these days?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, that's very, very
him on the
fucking
mic
true.
is very bad.
Reigns gets his promo to end the fucking pre-show. They also, I noticed, changed the Rumble because it shows Triple H getting booed as he comes out and Reigns getting cheered. Did not fucking happen, by the way. This
Mhm.
promo went on for a good couple minutes. It really tried to make Roman Reigns seem like the fan favorite. And then I put, I fuck this, I am going for a drink. And then I put back, promo still going. And then just after that, we get a Sasha Banks promo and then a advertisement for the Stone Cold podcast. And that ends the pre-show.
Yep.
All right. We have finished with the pre-show.
Hooray! That thing that you clearly could tell I wasn't too huge about. Wow.
There was absolutely nothing on, apart from the unveiling of the women's
Yeah, the
championship.
women's championship was, in my opinion, the only really great thing about
Yeah,
it.
there was no fucking reason to watch the pre-show at all. None of the match. The Kalisto Ryback match was probably the best match of the pre-show, but again, it was very short and
Yeah.
just okay. The other two were mediocre at best, so I don't fucking know. Anyway,
Hmm.
America. WrestleMania opens up with America the Beautiful, performed by Fifth Harmony. I don't care personally, obviously not being American, I couldn't give a shit, but Fifth Harmony were very good singers, I will give them that. Um, we get a decent WrestleMania promo package to bring the show in, actually, after that.
Yeah, the
Uh,
promo was all right.
yeah.
No complaints.
Um, and we kick things off here with what I knew would kick the show off: the the WWE Intercontinental Championship ladder match.
Dude, the WrestleMania Intercontinental Championship.
Well, that's
That's
pretty
new.
much what it's fucking become, hasn't it? They opened this show
Yes.
twice now with this. Uh,
Well,
WWE.
I think they need to start off with something hot,
I
so
know,
that's
but
probably the reasoning behind it.
I think there should only be one multi-man ladder match a year, and that should be the Money in the Bank.
Hmm.
I did not like the ladder match last year that much, and I'll go into what I think about this one later. But in this match, we've got Kevin Owens defending against Dolph Ziggler, Zack Ryder, Sami Zayn, Stardust, The Miz, and Sin Cara.
So basically, to summarize, an incredibly amazing heel champion, an incredibly amazing face wrestler who's been trying to build a feud with the heel, someone who's been over but is not really interesting, Ziggler, at least to me,
Fair
someone
enough.
who's kind of been, kind of just lost its touch, Stardust, someone who I can't stand at all, The Miz, and Sinbacha. And then whoever that Zack Ryder guy is.
Pretty much. My first note here: fucking Funaki. He's on the Japanese commentary team.
Wow. I'm surprised you really got a huge boost out of that.
I don't know why I did. I think I was just happy to see the guy. I haven't seen him in years. I was never actually a fan of his, to be honest, either.
There's something about him that people just remember about
Yeah.
Funaki for some reason.
Anyway, wherever men come down to the ring. I think it's all 7 men in the ring. Owens is the only guy left as everyone else dashes out to go and get a ladder. Um,
Yep.
they're all denied as Owens keeps blocking everyone from coming back in. And Zayn comes back in and him and Owens start brawling to a big pop from the crowd.
Yep.
Uh, we get the early small ladder spots from everybody to start. And by small, I mean like just basically running into the ladder and stuff like that. Nothing major to start with.
Yeah, pretty much.
Uh, Miz puts the ladder up wrong. I noticed right away. He doesn't unfold it properly, so it's just kind of half unfolded, and it looks like it could tip over very easily.
Yeah,
I
pretty
don't
much.
actually think that was meant to happen. I think he just doesn't know how to put a ladder up properly.
That could be very
Yeah,
possible.
it is the Miz after all.
Yeah, who cares about him?
Yeah. Zayn gets the blue Thunderbomb on Ziggler very early on. We then get the Rough Rider from Ryder onto Kevin Owens.
Which was interesting.
Yep. Amazing senton from Zayn through. Basically, he jumps through the ladder and then through the ropes and onto the group, which was really fucking cool. I have to admit that could have turned bad.
This guy's like such a crazy acrobatic. He
Yeah.
does all these amazing moves, and we're like, oh my god.
He's essentially Jeff Hardy, but he can also wrestle well as well.
Ooh.
I like Jeff Hardy, I really do. He's a good spot monkey, but Sami Zayn's a spot monkey, but he can also wrestle as well. So
Yeah, basically, I to be fair, I kind of agree. I always liked Hardy as well, but he was best to be known to be the guy who does the crazy spots. Whereas Zayn is basically he can do all the crazy spots, but he also, when it comes to like just need to do proper wrestling, he also really does a good job there
without
too.
question, I will say, like I said at NXT, he won me over. He didn't do much to prove himself at Roadblock, but fucking
It was against
Dallas
someone
was
who probably
amazing.
wouldn't have. The thing was, I think with Roadblock,
It was Stardust,
nothing,
so
nothing personal against Stardust and of course Cody Rhodes in general, but
Rhodes is
he's
actually a good wrestler. He just, I don't know, maybe having an off night or something.
possibly either that or he may have just not be he may
Wait,
not just not be
sorry, I
able
hate
to
to
know how
stop
to
you.
carry a
I
good
hate to
match.
stop you for a second. When did his father die? Because that might have been why he wasn't able to perform as well.
I'm thinking. I know it was. I think it was October.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that long ago. I thought
Oh
maybe.
no, no, no! It was June 2015.
Oh, it was that long ago.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe he just found out his father died, and that was why he didn't put in that good of a performance at Roadblock. But I didn't realize it was like last year. I thought it was maybe like February or something.
No.
Oh, fair enough. Anyway, he does the DDT on Owens from Sami Zayn.
Right.
Sami knocks Sin Cara off the ladder, who springboards off the ropes into the group outside, which was a nice flurry of moments.
Yep.
Ziggler goes super kick crazy on everybody. Looks like he missed one due to bad timing that was shown on a replay, though.
Possibly.
Again, I'm just reading off the notes. Owens and Dolph are super kick each other actually at the same time. Kind of funny. The polka dot ladder comes out from Stardust, which gets a Dusty chant from the crowd.
The funniest thing is, and then Owens is just pulling out. He's thinking, "What the hell is this crap?"
Probably.
Although, I mean, which is both funny, but at the same time strange because Rhodes, Dusty meant a lot to Owens as well when he was coming into NXT because before Dusty died, he was originally like the trainer for the good portion of people going into the thing.
Like I said, you can understand why. I mean, Stardust was his son, so obviously he's going to be the one that, honors his father by doing coming down like the polka dots and all that stuff. So,
Right.
anyway, skull crushing finale onto the ladder from to Stardust from the Miz. Owens uses the Muscle Buster. Well, that's what it looked like onto Miz on a ladder.
Did you mention the spot yet with Sin Cara?
Which one would that be?
Or are you getting to that? The ladder spot.
Oh, I haven't got to that yet.
Okay, I want to say something about it when you get to there.
Zayn and Owens again going one-on-one with the crowd going crazy for it. A frog splash from Owens onto Zayn on the ladder. Actually looked really fucking painful because the ladder kind of bounced with him. A pop-up powerbomb onto the Miz from Owens, obviously. Ryder gets the elbow drop from the top of the ladder onto Miz. Ziggler takes Ryder out, and
you still remember so much. You're good with these notes stuff. That's why I said you should be the one doing it because you tend to have better memory at times than I do.
I did this in memory. This I was taking live notes.
Right.
These are while I was watching the show, I was taking notes everywhere. I couldn't remember half the fucking match. I could tell you who won the matches and maybe one or two spots, but I couldn't tell you this if I didn't write down notes at the end of the day.
Pretty much. I think it doesn't help that I don't really have notes. So
yeah, like I say, do like to enjoy the pay per view, but I also have to be taking notes during the entire thing, so I have to sometimes look away and type something. But that's the way it goes. But
Right.
yeah, Ziggler with a face buster off the top of the rope to Zack Ryder, it kind of botched. But then again, from that height, I can't really blame Ziggler for not wanting to take the bump fully.
Yes.
The guy's done more than his fair share of bumping through his career, so I think we can forgive him one of these.
Quite often.
Yeah. Another pop-up powerbomb. Stardust with his finisher. I don't actually remember the name of it.
Oh shit.
It's like it used to be called the Crossroads, but I don't know if it's still called that. So
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised if it has been changed because the whole he doesn't
they
want
called it
to.
something else. They called it something else. I just couldn't catch what it was they called it. So, but yeah, after
God,
that we get.
why you make me try to look these things up and try to
I'm not
remember
asking
the.
you to make them look them up.
Well, I like to look things
All
up
right.
because I get genuinely curious when you point out things like this because my memory sucks.
But then we get the Sin Cara sent off the ladder outside through Stardust through a fucking ladder, essentially breaking the ladder.
Yep.
And I think that was the spot you were mentioning earlier.
Yes, because he did not botch it.
To be fair, it's not the same person playing Sin Cara though.
No. Oh no. Okay, I don't. Actually, his finisher I think is different now. It's not the same move
Oh, is it
because
not?
Crossroads was a rolling cutter. His finisher is like known as the I think it's the diamond. I think it's like dark matter or the Queen's cross. Oh wait,
The
no,
Queen's Cross, that's it. That was what they call
Queen's
it.
crossbow. Oh no, dark matter used to be a finisher, but now he does like another rolling cutter and it's called the Queen's crossbow.
Yeah, that was it.
I don't know. I'm getting all disjointed
I knew
again.
it was the Queen something, but I couldn't remember, so I just called it Stardust's
But
finisher.
yes, the
Yeah.
move that he did there for Sin Cara, he didn't botch it.
Again,
So
though,
that's a
different
good
Sin
point to
Cara,
him.
so.
Well, the other Sin Cara has botched moves too, but just nowhere near as
Well,
frequently.
exactly. But yeah, pretty big move here. It's not often you'll
I
actually
think the
see a.
problem is just I think the problem is just the mask.
Yeah, it
That's
doesn't
not.
look easy to wrestle in, let alone fucking walk around in.
No, I mean Sin Cara literally translates to faceless or something. So.
He will be fucking faceless if he botches a move like that one day.
And
But yeah,
if it.
big move. It's not often you get to see a ladder actually snap in two, so.
Yep.
Uh, but yeah, Zayn and Owens once again exchanging blows on top of the ladder this time. Zayn suplexes Owens on the ladder, but it looked kind of botched, which was a shame. Miz knocks Zayn off the ladder, he's up there on his own, everyone else is laid out, and starts getting cocky on top of the ladder. Which is where Zack Ryder sneaks up and knocks the Miz off the fucking ladder to win the Intercontinental Championship. Zack Ryder
Zack
wins.
Ryder in 2016.
I I will say this: a better opening ladder match than last year.
Yep.
At least in my opinion, it was. I have got here. I hope these ladder matches at WrestleMania don't become a trend, though.
Right.
Like I said, I like the multi-man match once a year, but in my opinion, that should be Money in the Bank, not a WrestleMania opening match. But yeah, decent match I thought, but it was very. How can I put this? Very by the book in terms of multi-man ladder matches. In these type of matches, there's no real storytelling. There's no real build-up or anything like that. It's essentially just a bunch of spots everywhere, which is nice every once in a while. But it would have been nice to see a story actually tell, which is what would have probably happened if we'd have gotten Owens and Sami Zayn for the IC strap.
Right.
So I guess I'm more disappointed by the match we didn't get than the fact that this was actually a bad match.
Correct.
What about you?
About this match? Honestly, I'm just gonna get it out of the way. I'm just gonna get it out of the way. I think it was one of the best matches of the night.
That's fine. Nothing wrong with enjoying the match, dude. I didn't say it was a bad match. It was just very by the books in terms of multi-man ladder matches.
Yeah. I think it was. I enjoyed it though. So.
Fair enough. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, Zack Ryder, new Intercontinental Champion. I'm sure he'll have a long and prosperous reign. Anyway, match number 2. Y2J Chris Jericho versus AJ
a
Styles.
a match that I was now when I the reason I mostly didn't do notes is because it's kind of hard to do notes when you have a lot of people talking to you in a voice chat. To be honest,
Yeah, I wasn't in the voice chat with Thunder, by the way, just in case people were wondering.
yeah, and one of the people I was in there with said the fact that AJ Styles was now on WWE was the reason he started watching again.
You know, it's understandable. At the end of the day, AJ Styles is a very popular wrestler, so.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, here we go. I was actually quite looking forward to this one. A good video package to open up. Was already pumped, but now even more so. We get some basic grappling around the ring to start, and we get the dual chant of Y2J and AJ from the crowd.
Which did not surprise me.
No, not at all. Both guys, you know, it doesn't matter if they're face or heel. Both of these guys are two of those type of wrestlers that will get cheered no matter what they are. Whether they're face or heel, it doesn't matter.
They're just too popular
Yeah,
because they all know how good of wrestlers they are.
exactly.
And especially in today's audience where your wrestling ability really needs to live up with your mic ability as well.
Oh, without question. But yeah. Jericho's sent outside and takes a quick breather, and then we get a chase outside. Y2J gets back in the ring, launches himself outside to a drop kick from Y2J. Replay, and I will point something out here because this is something that happened all night. Whoever was in charge of the fucking replays kept pissing me off so much because we kept missing more spots while they were showing the replays.
Yeah, the replay they get I think over the last while they've been getting really carried away with replays because there's been so many spots that they've been missing
I
because of it.
know it's such a pain in the ass. You can do replays. There's nothing wrong with doing them, but make sure there's nothing going on in the ring while
Yeah,
you're
like
showing it.
it's still like the one that still sticks in mind was 2016 Royal Rumble. They have replays of, oh, here's Reigns getting assaulted. Meanwhile, Kofi Kingston is eliminated, but you didn't see that.
I know. I didn't even notice he was fucking gone. To be honest, I'm not. They seem to be getting worse with that, and I don't understand why. Because they've been pretty consistent over the years by being good with at least, I guess, the TV side of things. But
Yeah.
fuck me, it became such a pain in the ass. I will say that throughout the entire night, I got more and more pissed off with it. Uh, we get a long rest hold back in the ring. AJ gets a slight comeback, but gets locked into the walls of Jericho. He does manage to get to the ropes though to break it up. We get
Right.
the springboard inverted DDT that AJ Styles does for a 2 count, which I do actually like watching.
Yep.
Uh, a top rope flapjack from AJ. I think that's what it was anyway. We get the Pele kick, but that's caught by Chris Jericho, who turns it around and locks in the walls of Jericho for a second time. AJ reverses it into a calf crusher for a while. Styles goes for his Styles Clash, but Y2J counters it. Chris Jericho avoids the springboard move and gets the codebreaker for a 2 count. Y2J actually then goes to hit AJ with his own Styles Clash, but that's counted into a modified face buster.
Yeah.
If you ever want to jump in, dude, just jump in.
Well, I know. Like I'm trying. I'm not purposely not trying to say things. It's just you usually cover all the things I want to say about the match anyway. So
Alright, fair enough. Just remember, if you ever need to jump in at any point, just do it. Anyway, Styles hits the Styles Clash, but only gets a 2 count.
that's the thing that surprised me. I'm gonna actually jump in for this.
Go ahead.
Now, it's gonna play more of a bigger role when we talk about like Raw near the end of this video, but it's like I was genuinely surprised that they had a moment where he kicked out of the Styles Clash. I thought as soon as he was gonna hit that, I thought he was gonna get the 3 count to win the match, but no.
No, I must admit, I didn't think it was going to be one finisher and done here.
Yeah, I was just surprised. Like people felt really burnt off the fact that Jericho kicked out, but
Yeah. Actually, I got here
I
that
was
they
just
was...
I was just I was just genuinely surprised. Is all. I'm
Yeah.
not saying I had a problem with it. It's just
There's
it
no
was
problem, yeah.
interesting. It was
But yeah, he does get a dual chant as soon as Chris Jericho kicks out. some shots traded. The line assault gets countered by AJ. AJ hits a springboard. I think it was a springboard 450 splash, I think.
It was a really yeah, something like that. It was a really cool
Yeah,
spot.
he only gets a 2 count from it, sadly. And again, I apologize if this is wrong, but AJ goes for, I think it's the phenomenal forearm.
Yeah, something like
I
that.
think that's what it's called. Where he basically springboards off the top rope. That, however, gets reversed into a code breaker for the 3 count. Chris Jericho wins there.
And I was okay with that. A lot of people were really upset with the fact that Jericho won the match, and I'm just sitting here thinking, why should you complain? The match was excellent.
Here's the thing. Considering what happened the next night on Raw, I do have a problem with it.
Okay.
But we'll go into
Well,
that more
we'll
with
get
Raw.
to that later
Yeah.
on. I mean, I'm just talking. We're not talking about in the sense of Raw. I'm just talking about like the quality match
The
that
match
they
quality.
two.
I'm gonna be honest. I was expecting more. I'm gonna be honest. I was expecting more than thinking. I think it was better.
Jericho personally tweeted that it was one of the best matches he's had of his career. I think.
Oh, I would not agree with that. I thought it was a great match. I thought it was better than their Fastlane match, but I don't know. I didn't think this lived up to my expectations. I was expecting a little bit more. Maybe give them a couple more minutes. I could have fucking eaten into the time that Rock and all those others were given later.
Oh, we'll get to
Yeah,
that.
wasted fucking. You waste about 20 minutes on that, but you can't give Y2J and AJ another 5 minutes. Fuck that. Yeah, a good match.
There was a lot of time during this pay-per-view that they're just wasted time.
Tell me about it. Anyway, the match ends. After the match, we get the camera cut into a bunch of celebrities in the audience, none of which I recognize. I don't know who any of these people are, and I really.
Oh yeah,
couldn't
by
give a
the way,
fuck.
B plus for me for that.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, no, just a B.
All right, fair enough. Like I said, I've got a good match, better than Fastlane. Yeah, so a bunch of celebrities get a bit of camera time for about 30 seconds, I guess. We then get a decent promo from Ryder backstage with the newly with the IC belt, and then out comes the massive Bootios box.
That spot was just amazing.
Tell me.
There's a picture I retweeted during the thing where someone had actually who was there live took a picture of the side of the boxes to show like the
Oh, I
ingredients
saw
plus
that.
like
Yeah,
the nutrients, like the amounts. It was one of the greatest things I've ever
it
seen.
was pretty funny. But yeah, match number 3, the New Day versus the League of Nations, minus Barrett, who wasn't in the match.
Nope.
First of all,
Here's the thing though too, just for people
go
curious.
ahead.
No, it should be obvious how it works, but obviously the three weren't actually in the Budio's box when it tilted over like that. Basically, they tilted over and then the three just came out, entered through it, and just came out of the box. But the cameras, obviously for people watching at home, it was meant so that you didn't see that.
To be fair, it did look like they came out the box, so kudos
Yes.
to the camera guy for that. But yeah, the Bootios box isn't the only interesting thing here. The New Day come out dressed as fucking Dragon Ball Z characters.
It was just it was interesting to say the least.
Look, I don't know. I loved it. Don't get me wrong, but you're about 15 years too late with that fucking reference.
Well, to be fair, even if it's if it's the time difference, but the show has still always remained very beloved
Yeah,
by a lot of
I
people.
like Dragon. I love Dragon Ball and I like Dragon Ball Z. It's just seriously, I don't even. Is the show even on television anymore?
I don't know.
I mean, I know the show technically ended, but I don't even think they're showing any replays or anything like that. Just seemed like kind of an odd pick. I honestly, if I was going to say a costume setup for the New Day, I would kind of expect them to come out as Power Rangers. Because I'm pretty sure Xavier Woods is a huge Power Rangers nerd, isn't he?
He's a huge nerd in general.
Well, I know he's a huge nerd in general, but I think didn't he once scream "It's morphin' time" in the middle of the fucking ring when he was wrestling once?
Maybe.
I think so. I have to go back and check sometime. It was on a Raw or something when he first got onto the main roster, but oh well. Anyway, we get Sheamus and Kofi kicking things off. Oh, by the way, no interest in intro for the New Day. They just came out as boring as ever.
By the way, I apologize for sounding a bit more distant. I just need to get more comfortable.
That's fine.
That
Del,
because
sorry. Don't worry about it, dude. Like I say, it's not like we're professional at any point, so
we're the farthest thing from it.
pretty much. But yeah, Sheamus and Kofi start the match off. Del Rio and Xavier come in and then trade some moves for a little bit. The League of Nations takes control of the match. Xavier getting beat for a good few minutes by all the members of the league. I'll just call them the LON. It'll just make things a lot quicker.
Right.
Del Rio is then sent outside. Some outside action from the non-league members of both teams. The non-legal members of both teams.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously at some point Xavier outside starts getting the crowd pumped up. I think he brought the fucking trombone with him again.
Something like that.
I think maybe, I can't remember. Xavier tags in Kofi. Kofi annihilates the League of Nations for a while. Double boom drop, which was interesting. By that he laid one of them on top of the other and then did his move. Trouble in Paradise blocked by Sheamus, who locks in the clover leaf. That's turned into a kick from Rusev. Something like that. I must have got mistaken here because my notes are all over the fucking place. Jesus Christ, what was I doing? Wanking or something?
I'm not sure.
1 second, I just want to make sure I haven't accidentally pressed the wrong key here. Yeah, that was all my notes here. I must have gotten it mixed up, but Big E, we'll just say shit happened. Then Big E came in, suplexes everyone for a while. Spears, Sheamus, Rusev, who are both on the ring rope, they get sent up to the outside, also knocking Barrett down in the equation. Double team foot stomp by Kofi and Xavier. Nice backstabber from Del Rio with a foot stomp on the ringside. Barrett hits Woods and that knocks him into a bro kick from Sheamus, who then gets the free count. So that was pretty much the match.
That was the match.
It was kind of boring, honestly. After the intro,
Agreed.
The intro was the best part. Honestly, it was at best a poor Raw match. It wasn't really a WrestleMania worthy match at all. I really have nothing to say about it. I expected a lot worse, but
Yeah, I mean the thing is, the New Day is fantastic, but the other three, the League of Nation, are like
they really are. The League of Nation of
they bore me to death.
You've got some decent in-ring wrestlers there, but none of them have any fucking charisma.
Nope.
This was, I think, probably at this point, since not counting the pre-show, this was the first chore match to watch, and the fact that it felt like a massive chore to have to watch the entire thing.
Yes.
You really can't. After the match, we get a little bit more. Barrett cuts a promo in the ring with the rest of the League of Nations, and suddenly we hear the theme music for the greatest wrestler of all time. Out comes HBK.
In your opinion.
Oh, yeah. No, everyone with any taste says this.
Well, then I hate to disappoint you.
Whatever. Yeah, HBK comes out, and I
don't get me wrong. I love Shawn Michaels. I think he's one of the greatest wrestlers as well.
Speaking of which, who is your favorite wrestler of all time? By the way, not just on the roster.
God. Okay. See, I'm a bit of a cop-out because mine's wasn't the greatest in-ring worker.
That doesn't matter.
Because I will say Shawn Michaels was the greatest in-ring worker. I will give him that. He's up there with, like, Kurt Angle and, who else?
Dude, it doesn't matter who you think had the best in-ring skills, just who was your overall favorite.
My overall favorite is someone we'll get to in a couple moments.
Okay. Well, HBK comes out. I will say the guy looks in fucking great shape, and I actually thought maybe he's gonna have a match because he came down in ring attire, not fucking in a shirt or anything.
Yeah, he's been keeping pretty good care of himself.
After that, we hear the car crash, and out comes Mick Foley.
Which was great.
Nice to see him, but then again, I saw the podcast he had with Stone Cold at the WrestleMania weekend, so I don't really kind of see him. Speaking of which, the glass showers, and out comes Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Which, there you go. That's my favorite.
I've never been a Steve Austin fan, to be honest.
Really?
Not really.
Damn.
I just couldn't get into the guy, but never mind. But yeah, all
I'm
three Hall of
disappointed.
Famers. Oh, well, it happens, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure there's guys I like that you probably couldn't stand. So
Well, we'll have to find out someday.
yeah, maybe someday. Do like maybe a top 10 countdown of wrestlers or something like that. Uh, the Hall of Famers go.
There's
Sorry,
an idea then.
definitely something to think about. But yeah, the Hall of Famers all go down to the ring, beat the crap out of the League of Nations, where to get the young guys over. The New Day come back in, have a fun little segment for a short few minutes to get Shawn Michaels to do like a fucking. Oh, what do they call that where you move your fucking ass? Twerking?
Yes.
I think, yeah, I think Big E gets, or one of the others gets Shawn to do a twerk. Mick Foley does a little bit of a dance as well. And then Xavier tries to get Steve Austin to dance. It sort of looks like he's going to, and then stuns Xavier just for the hell of it.
Yep.
Uh, I'm gonna be honest here. I thought this was a huge time waster.
It was a nice little thing, but
I think it was
at the
unneeded.
same time,
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I just don't like it when they come back for these nothing moments like this.
here's the
Admittedly,
thing. I can
well,
understand your reasoning for that. It's the thing is though, it's like there has to be like a reason for like they probably want people to have fun with the match, like, or not that, but have like a moment that people could enjoy and like be like, oh sweet, these people are here because it's WrestleMania. You really want you would really want those people to be there. So
yeah, I suppose. But here's the thing: WWE have tried so long to get guys like Sheamus and Del Rio over, and you have three Hall of Famers come down who none have wrestled in a couple of years now. Come down and just beat the crap out of them. Then pretty much, well, they didn't beat the crap out of the New Day. Steve Austin does at least stun Xavier. It does nothing for either the New Day or the League of Nations. Like you say, it's a nice moment, but I don't know. I'll put it this way: this wasn't as bad as what we'll get later, but I still felt it was extremely unnecessary.
no, it is your opinion after all, but to me it's like,
I won't lie, I popped
it's
big
just
time when
nice to see.
HBK's
It's
music
nice to
hit.
see, because to me it's like it's nice to see them because it's like you people want to be able to see these guys because they're so synonymous with the company and the fact that they're so well loved. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. Don't get me
Ah,
wrong, but for me it's like it wouldn't. They deserve to be at WrestleMania,
well, I'm
whether
not
you
denying that. I just the way it was handled was what bothered me more than anything.
right.
Uh, like I said, different opinions. It'll always happen occasionally. We can't always agree on everything, but
Yeah.
oh, speaking of that, there's disappointments. Up next, match number 4: Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar in a street fight.
It's gonna
Oh
be hard.
god, my first note here: good video package, and then I've got in all capitals, so hyped for this fucking match. I have been
Yeah.
hyped for this match since it was first announced. So, let's get into it, shall we? Lesnar starts out suplexing Dean. Obviously, no surprise there. It was always going to happen that way. Takes very early control. Ambrose rolls out, brings in a kendo stick. Uh, Back outside, two kendo sticks are then brought in. Lesnar breaks one of the sticks over his leg.
Yep.
Way to break kayfabe there, buddy. Uh, this thing is supposed to hurt you, and then you just snap the fucking thing over your leg.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he breaks it over his leg and then just proceeds to beat Ambrose down for a while.
Yeah.
Dean comes back, but gets a small comeback, but he's stopped by a huge suplex. Again, Lesnar in control until Dean low blows Brock, who goes down like a sack of shit. He kendo sticks to Brock for a little while. Dean launches himself to Brock, who rolls to the outside and pretty much lays the two of them out. The chainsaw's brought out, but Lesnar blocks it with a suplex. I don't mean he suplexes the chainsaw, but he blocks and hits him with a suplex. That'd be interesting, though. See Brock
Yeah.
Lesnar's suplex a giant fucking chainsaw.
Mm-hmm.
Then a laptop to the face. That was interesting.
Yeah, it was.
Wonder if it was a notebook. Oh well. Chair shot to Brock. Nice top rope suplex from Brock as well. Um, Dean rolls back outside, gets the fire extinguisher, uses it to blind Brock. Then starts hitting him with chair shots to the back. Nice missile drop kick into the chairs on Brock's face. An elbow drop with the chair off the top rope from Dean to Brock for a 2 count. Dean brings in a shit ton of chairs at this point. Had to be at least 10 or 15 easy.
He just basically brought an army of chairs with him.
Brock suplexes Dean into the chair pile, but it looks like he actually overthrows him, and Brock actually just lands on the chairs himself.
Yes.
F5 is reversed into a DDT on the chairs, and out comes the bat covered in barbed wire, which gets absolutely zero action, because Brock suplexes Dean onto the chairs again, and then a quick F5 onto the chairs for a 3 count. I was expecting a fucking war, and I get a schoolyard fight, basically.
This match. Okay.
Just to put it clearly, this wasn't a bad match, but for... so
the match
underwhelming.
itself was not bad. My problem with it, though, is is that it did almost nothing for the stipulation of the match. It was supposed to be a street fight. They barely went anywhere.
It's not even the fact that the match. Let's put it this way: I am not disappointed by the fact Ambrose lost. I even said during our Roadblock video for the predictions that Lesnar was going to win. There was no way Ambrose was winning this match. However, I expected Ambrose to die trying. Or at least nearly die trying to beat Brock.
Right.
And it felt like you got maybe a third of what Ambrose had in him. Like you said, the match I think was about... In fact, I'll get the match length up actually before I continue. But as you said, this should have been a fucking war, and it was a scuffle. It was a fucking scuffle.
It was kind of like a kerfluffle.
You know, I've seen more intense fights in the fucking schoolyard.
Pretty much.
One second, I am actually just getting the match time up right now.
So
13 minutes.
WE that I just saw.
13 minutes this match lasted.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it.
It didn't feel like it. This match should have been 25-30 minutes. Of these two just beating the living shit out of each other.
Right.
And here's the thing. This is something else that's pissing me off here. I usually don't want to see... I usually... I'm very... how can I put this? Let's put it this way. I don't mind people kicking out of each other's finishers too often. As long as it's not overused, as long as it's someone that you can see doing it, I don't mind seeing somebody kick out of a finisher. I figured we'd at least see Dean kick out of one F5.
Yeah. It would have been a pretty cool spot to see, like, oh my god, he actually kicked out the F5, but no.
It seemed like it was too easy for Brock to beat Ambrose.
Yeah.
Brock didn't even use a weapon. Brock never used a weapon the entire match.
No, he really didn't. It's like, what was the point of making it like a street fight if weapons don't get used really that much?
Well, I think the problem was it was meant to be like a way to even out the odds for Ambrose, but 13 minutes was not long enough for it to feel like a legit street fight. You want a street fight? Go watch Triple H and Cactus Jack at the 2000 Royal Rumble. That was a street fight.
Right.
This was a major disappointment for me. I was looking forward to this match for a good solid month, and fuck me, this was... Again, it's not even that I can say it was a bad match. It was just so fucking disappointing.
Yeah.
I really don't have anything else to say about this match. All I can say is, don't worry guys, Ambrose will not be getting my star of the night tonight.
Nope, he ain't getting mine either, because he was in a wasted match.
Tell me about it.
Man, this match, it's like a street fight. You don't really go out, all you really went was just outside the ring a little bit. That's about it. That didn't feel like a street fight, man.
What a huge fucking ramp and platform for the WrestleMania entrance. You could have gone up there and suplexed the fucker on there, but no.
Nope.
And considering what we see later in the Hell in a Cell, that was more what I expected from this.
Yeah.
But we'll
Oh,
get into
I'm
that
so
when we get to that.
disappointed.
Yeah, so fucking disappointing. But what would you actually rank this match as? As I said, I was so decent match, but I was personally disappointed. But what would your grade be for this?
I'm only feeling like a C plus match out of this at the most.
Fair enough. Anyway, after the disappointment, we get a very strange Snickers advert with Ryder, Ziggler, Flair, and Charlotte.
I was kind of hoping you'd remember this because it certainly was stuck in my mind.
Yeah, it was actually kind of interesting, but uh,
It was weird,
it
to say the
didn't. It
least.
didn't convince me to eat Snickers because I don't like Snickers.
Dude, give me a Twix any day.
Oh fuck yeah, Twix absolutely. Twix
Uh,
or
I,
twirl
or what?
or a twirl. Have you ever? No, I don't know. Do you have Cadbury's chocolate?
Yeah, we have Cadbury chocolate here.
Yeah, it's basically Cadbury's chocolate. It's fucking beautiful.
I'll have to see if I can ever find that because I'm tempted to want to try it. I just know we have Twix though, and I
Oh,
fucking
Twix
love
is
Twix.
fantastic. Anyway, off chocolate. We
I
after
like
the,
chocolate,
everyone likes chocolate, at least apart from lactose intolerant people.
except for
Poor
me because
fuckers.
I'm lactose intolerant. I can still eat
Oh,
chocolate.
can you? Okay then.
Yeah,
Lucky you.
there's a certain amount that basically if I go beyond that, then that's when I start having issues. Chocolate does not usually cause anything.
Oh, that's good at least.
Yeah,
Anyway, after the weird Snickers advert, we get the traditional Hall of Fame recap where all the recent Hall of Fame inductees come out, stand on the stage for about a minute or so, while the crowd politely clap for them.
right.
Nothing to say there. After that, we get a quick recap of the Women's Championship belt reveal from early on in the pre-show. Again, something we're both very happy about. Because after that, we actually get the first time the championship's going to be on the line. The Women's Championship, Charlotte versus Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch in a triple threat match. Alright, great video package to start this off. Sasha gets Snoop Dogg to help to sing her entrance, along with some other woman who I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't recognize the other woman, but so
Yeah, pretty much. Charlotte comes out. I do love her robe. I thought her robe for WrestleMania was fantastic. To be honest, Becky Lynch probably had the least amount of, I guess, flamboyance for her entrance, but all three women got a pretty big pop when they came out.
something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, all three were made to look legit as well by these entrances. You know, you had fucking Snoop Dogg doing the entrance for a women's match. You know, and you had a lot of pyro for both other women as well and other stuff. This was meant to feel like a legit match, a big championship match, and it was. And I'm glad the WWE did that.
Right.
All right. My last note here before we start is this match should kick ass. All right. Multiple pin attempts by all three women very early. But I do need to point something out here. My internet went wonky for about a good solid minute, so I kind of missed like a minute of the action here. So if I missed anything big, I apologize. Can't do anything about it.
No.
Anyway, the video feed comes back, and we're with Becky and Charlotte. I'm guessing Sasha got sent to the outside or something. Inverted DDT by Becky into a modified backbreaker from the top rope. Very nice. Sasha gets back in the ring and attacks Charlotte. But then she's sent back outside almost immediately. Becky locks in the armbar on Charlotte. Sasha back in and breaks the submission up. We then get a figure 4 on Becky. I don't think it was actually a figure 8 yet, though. I think it was just a basic 4. But while she's got that locked in, Sasha goes up to the top rope and frog splashes Charlotte for the 2 count. Which was a very nice set of moves, by the way. Seeing Charlotte with the figure 4 locked on Becky and then Sasha coming in and frog splashing her. I just thought it was a good moment. We then get the double knees for a 2 count by Sasha. Becky with a big suplex suplex, sorry, on Sasha. A modified pump handle slam for 2 count by Sasha breaks up the count again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking at my notes here. Sasha and Becky then trade moves for a short amount of time. Sasha with a nice senton outside onto Charlotte. Becky launches herself at Rick outside as well, who goes down like another sack of shit.
Mm-hmm.
The replay once again fucks over the action that's taking place. Then with Becky and Sasha outside, Charlotte goes up to the top rope and performs a fantastic moonsault onto both girls, which starts a holy shit chant. That was like a Kurt Angle moonsault, by the way.
Yeah,
With how
and
she arcs.
it just goes to show you how much women's wrestling has
Oh,
gotten better over the
without
years.
question. Double natural selection inside the ring for a 2 count on both girls as she keeps going back and forth trying to get the pin, sadly doesn't. Powerbomb onto Sasha turned into a dropkick from Becky onto both girls. The armbar gets locked onto Charlotte for a short amount of time. Becky gets the bank statement on... Sasha Banks gets the bank statement on Becky. Charlotte then gets the figure 8 on Sasha, which is reversed and then reversed again. Some nice back and forth from both women. Becky pulls Sasha out of it though, so she doesn't tap out. Charlotte starts hitting both girls with chops, which gets obviously woos from the crowd, as it always will. Even after Ric Flair's long since been dead and gone, I'm sure people will keep doing that just because it's something that happens in wrestling now.
It's an iconic part of it. It's like they'd be very stupid for it to just not be happening anymore, and because that's the thing is I don't think it'll ever go away.
Yeah, I
for
can't
good reason.
see it. Even when it's no longer attuned with Ric Flair, people will just keep doing it anyway. It's just part of what it is now.
Right.
Both girls then get pissed off and just start beating the shit out of Charlotte before they turn on each other. Spear from Charlotte onto Sasha, who I think gets knocked out of the ring. Or at least rolls away anyway. Then we get to the top rope. Sasha's hung upside down. Becky suplexes Charlotte off the top rope. A bank statement on Becky. Charlotte intervenes, and throws Sasha outside. Locks the figure 8 on Becky for the submission win.
Yeah.
In my opinion, this was a great match.
The match was fantastic. It's probably the best match of the night, in my opinion.
Yep, same here.
It was
for now, anyway.
I mean, I know that spoils a couple things. Oops, but I just wanted to get that out of the way. I mean, I kind of wish someone else won, but the match was so good that I genuinely, looking back at it, I'm not too bothered by it.
I didn't care who won this. This is a thingy of me liking all 3 women enough that I really could have been happy whoever won.
It's just interesting to see how much Charlotte has been doing as a wrestler. Like, the reason she started becoming one in the first place was basically to help to continue on the dream that her now unfortunately deceased brother Reed wanted to do.
Yeah.
She got into the business for him to continue his dream, and she's already becoming one of the best women wrestlers on the roster.
Yeah, it's not like she's half-assing it. She is a fantastic wrestler.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved the match. This match only lasted about 16 minutes according to Wikipedia. I would have liked to have seen this go on longer though.
It certainly felt longer though, that's the thing.
Oh, I didn't think it even felt 16 minutes.
No. It felt longer.
I know why I don't want to see. I want to see these. No, actually, put Bailey in as well. A 4-woman 60-minute Iron Man match.
The horsewoman match.
Yeah, the horsewoman Iron Man match. Make it happen. I would love to see that. But anyway, never mind. Fantastic match. What's your overall grade?
Oh man, that was probably like a. I mean, I would give it an A if it was a little longer, so A minus.
Fair enough. I would probably agree with that actually. My next note. We get the ominous music and the Hell in a Cell Lauren, and my note here is fuck. That means Triple H Reigns is going on last.
Yep.
Match number 6. Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker in the Hell in a Cell. If Shane wins, he gets control of Raw, which means if Taker loses, also it will be his last WrestleMania appearance.
Pretty much as soon as I heard that they were throwing that stipulation would be his last WrestleMania appearance, I already knew the outcome of the match.
I already picked Undertaker to win at Roadblock, so the outcome of this match did not surprise me. But we'll go more into that when we actually
Right,
finish the match. Good
right.
promo made the build up actually look decent compared to what it actually was, because the build up for this was very up and down from what I saw. I did watch Shane's return, and that pop he got was fucking enormous.
Oh, he got a huge pop
He got one of
upon
the
coming back.
biggest fucking pops I've ever heard. But then you had things like Undertaker working for Vince for no apparent reason. Uh, because let's put it this way: Undertaker shouldn't work for Vince McMahon just because he's his boss. Taker's above that. He shouldn't
Yeah.
be lowered to that kind of. There should be an actual reason, and we didn't really get one, which was definitely, if they'd have implemented the whole "your career's on the line" thing here, that would have at least give it a reason why.
Uh-huh.
Instead, it's like, "You're my bitch, Undertaker," and that was it. In my
Yeah, it
opinion,
was
it's really not good enough.
no.
So yeah, but yeah, as I said, the promo actually made it look half decent compared to what it actually was. But yeah, Shane comes out first, who brings out his kids during the fucking entrance, by the way. I'm sure they'd love to see their dad get beat up for 30 minutes. Uh, in time for the Lord of the Rings trilogy while Taker makes his appearance. Which takes nearly 5 fucking minutes, by the way, for his entrance.
Yeah,
I actually
basically,
timed it.
I could have, if I wanted to, I could have gone and made some popcorn, and
You
I
could
would
have
have been
made some popcorn, eaten the popcorn, and then shit out the remains of the popcorn in this amount of time.
yes.
Oh, anyway, the match finally gets underway. We get some basic ducking and jiving punches from Shane, which, by the way, are terrible. Uh, Basically, for the first couple minutes of this match, it's basically just them trading strikes here and there. First real move, we get the Snake Eyes by Taker, which turns into a flying elbow from Shane, which was actually pretty nice. Shane gets thrown into the cell face twice by Taker.
Mm-hmm.
Nice leg drop on the ringside rope from Taker to Shane. We get the last ride attempt, which is countered. We do get a last ride for a 2 count. This is
Yep.
still pretty early on. I'm not missing out. This is like the first couple minutes of the match. Taker then brings in the steel steps. But as he goes to pick up Shane, Shane locks in the triangle hold, which is
Mm.
was it supposed to be Hell's Gate, which is what Taker does?
Maybe.
I don't know. It looked like he did it incorrectly though, because he had one. I think when it's supposed to be Hell's Gate, you're supposed to use both arms. Shane only used one though, so I'm not sure if it was something else. Anyway, choke slam from Taker onto Shane onto the steel steps. Only gets a 2 count as well. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
while Shane's still laid on the steel steps, Taker tries to elbow drop him, but he moves out the way. Uh, Shane DDTs Taker onto the steps, then does the elbow off the steps for a 2 count. This time, Taker gets Hell's Gate locked in on Shane. Shane actually fights out of it and turns it into a sharpshooter that looks a little bit awkward, but it was okay, I guess. Taker powers out of it though, and then the crowd start with their dual chants. I didn't actually write down what they were chanting though. Out comes a trash can, and we get the coast to coast spot from Shane on Taker for a 2 count. Then it starts getting a little bit weird, something you don't usually see in this PG era. Shane gets the wire cutters out from under the rope and begins opening a segment of the cell. Taker drives Shane through the cell.
Which was nice.
Yep, they both land near the table. In fact, I think actually Shane knocks his head on the table. But I'm
I think
not
so.
something like that. He even knocks his shoulders or his head. It could be one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Taker then takes both two of the announce tables apart.
Yep.
He hits Shane with a TV monitor, twice, which I think is meant to be significant because I think Shane did that on Raw to him.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. both men go on to this block thing that's next to the table. I think it's where they might display like the fucking tiles or something like that. I don't know. It's just like a big black box.
Right.
I'm not actually sure what that's supposed to be. Anyway, on top of that, Taker goes for the tombstone, but it gets reversed into a sleeper. Taker basically, I don't know if he does it deliberately or accidentally. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's like he actually put Shane through the table or he just sort of gave up. Because Taker just kind of falls down and sends them both crashing through one of the announce tables.
Mm-hmm.
Shane's the first one up, though, which is odd. He hits Taker with a toolbox to the head. 1 second, you have to press that. He then hits him again, knocks him onto the second announce table, which is still being stripped of all its, its cover and all that shit.
Right.
Then takes a quick break before hitting Taker with a monitor as well. And then finally we get to the spot I think a lot of us were actually expecting. Shane begins to climb the actual cell. Shane's up the top for a good solid minute, I would say. Looks down, and all of a sudden the crowd is starting to chant, "Please don't jump."
And that was the thing.
Yeah. All of a sudden,
He jumps.
he jumps. Goes for the elbow, through the table, off the top of the Hell in the Cell.
Yep.
Taker moves out the way. So Shane goes fucking flying into the table, which apparently did have a little bit of padding underneath the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it did anyway. I hope he didn't just fucking crash through onto the floor with no padding whatsoever.
Now here's the thing. Yeah, there was padding when he hit the table.
Yeah, there was supposed to be like a little bit of padding underneath. I hope there was anyway.
There was.
Although apparently Shane was
Here's,
walking around the next day fine though, so.
here's the thing. The thing that annoys me is that I saw people online thinking, why did they have that padding there? And we made it
What do you
blatantly
mean?
obvious.
Why did he have that padding there? He's jumped about fucking 20 feet off a
Yeah.
Would you
That's
jump
what
that high? With no padding
Exactly.
at
I'm
least?
just thinking. I'm thinking they're thinking. Do they want him to die?
Let's put that this way. I would not jump 20 fucking feet unless I had something like a fucking bouncy castle for me to fall on.
Yeah. It's like, what's the what? Like, why are people complaining the fact that there's
Oh,
padding there? If he didn't have that padding, he probably would have been seriously hurt or even killed.
tell me about it. But Taker's face when Shane jumped off was priceless. He had this complete look of shock on his face, which is always weird to see on The Undertaker.
I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone was shocked.
Oh, absolutely.
Because here you have a 46-year-old man jumping off the top of the cell.
Tell me about it. That's something. We'll go more into that whole thing when we finish off this match because we haven't actually got long of this match left. Taker, Shane actually gets to his knees and does sort of bring it with his hands, though, even though he's completely in La La Land at the moment.
Yeah.
Taker pretty much just picks him up, puts him on his shoulders, and brings him back into the ring. He shows a little bit of respect to Shane, but he tombstones him for the 3 count.
Yes.
To end it. I can't say the outcome of this match surprised me. I'm going to be honest though, apart from a couple of the spots, I didn't think it was a great match. I thought it was a good match. But it was a spot fest.
It was largely a spot fest, but I liked the match. It wasn't.
Yeah, I would go back and watch it, don't get me wrong, but
Who wouldn't want to watch it after
yeah.
that jump?
Yeah, as I said, you got like the jump from the top rope, and this is gonna sound so fucking petty from me. I think my problem with this match was Take was made to look too weak. This is the Undertaker. This is supposed to be someone who it pretty much takes a fucking 2 double-decker bus to stop him. I could see if maybe Shane had brought more weapons in, like he had been the one to use like chairs and kendo sticks on Taker to wear him down, instead of all this other shit. And I don't know, it felt like it was too. Taker got wore down too soon as well. That was my other problem. Like you could tell he was gassed really quickly, and you can understand why. The guy's getting on in age,
Yes.
but it felt a little bit too even in terms of how it could have gone when it should have been obvious that Taker was going to win from the off, but Shane would come back every so often with a couple moves. But unfortunately, it felt like both guys were equal to one another, where it shouldn't have been that.
Well, I mean, yeah, I know. I get where
I,
you're coming
I, I
from.
don't think I'm explaining it well enough, but is this for a match? It was okay. It was just really that one thing that really kind of grated on me. But I will say this: that
Uh,
move, that botch from Shane, equaled Mick Foley's Hell in a Cell moment from King of the Ring '98.
I don't know. I personally wasn't bothered by it too much, but I understand. I see where you're coming
Yeah,
from.
but yeah, like I say, I think that moment equals Foley's Hell in a Cell fall from '98. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's been a long, long time since we've had a moment like that.
pretty much.
Yeah, I think the last big one was when Rikishi got slammed off, sort of choke slammed off the Hell in a Cell back in 2000. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I know Ambrose and Rollins fell off about halfway a couple of years ago, but there's a huge fucking difference between halfway and the top. Uh, but yeah, there's some other decent moments. I actually did like the moment where Shane's got the sleeper locked in and he Taker sends them both for the table in order to get him to get it off.
Yeah, that was a pretty
I
cool
thought that was a
spot.
pretty cool spot. Shane getting chokeslammed on the steel steps was pretty fun as well. I thought that was pretty funny. Uh,
Yeah.
as I said, it was a good match with some amazing spots, but for me, that was pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what would your overall grade be then?
I said this was like a B for me.
Fair enough. After the match, we get the medics coming out. I think this was more for um, drama's sake than actually needing the medics. You know, because like I say, Shane was um, slated to
Fine the
be
next day.
apparently fine walking around and shit without any problems the next day. Probably had some bruises and stuff. Don't get me wrong. You can't jump that fucking high and not have a couple bruises.
Yeah, and then of course, at least a moment. It was good to see the moment where he just gave a thumbs up, telling everyone he's good, he's okay.
Yeah, that was always nice. Uh, but yeah, he gets a standing ovation, and rightfully so. No matter what I think of the match, the guy pretty much could have quite easily accidentally killed himself doing some of the stuff he did. But I guess that's it for the Hell in a Cell. What would
Hmm.
you say for like WrestleMania Hell in a Cells? Would you say this was the best WrestleMania Hell in a Cell match?
No,
No.
I think the Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania 28 was the best.
Yeah, against Triple H.
Yeah, that was just such a good match.
Yeah, I'd probably agree actually. I think this one had better spots, but yeah, that was a better match.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fair enough. Anyway, match number 7, the Andre the Memorial Battle Royal, which surprised me because I thought this would be on the pre-show. Uh,
Hmm.
First of all, we get a bunch of the guys come down together. Not everyone gets their own introduction. The few that do: Mark Henry, Kane, Diamond Dallas Page, Big Show, and Shaquille O'Neal. So the match starts. All the smaller guys are just sort of hankering around the outside of the ring. In the middle, Show and Shaq have their stare down. Uh,
It's a bit late for them to do this, isn't it?
just a little bit. Uh,
Just a little bit.
just a bit. Kane decides he's big enough as well to be in this. Gets involved. Show and Shaq double chokeslam him, and then everyone just starts attacking the big guys.
Pretty much.
Fandango is thrown out by Show. Sando, much to the crowd's dismay, is thrown out by Shaquille. People were very pissed off about that.
Hmm.
Everyone who's left then team up together to get rid of Show and Shaquille. Which is, and what's odd is as soon as they get thrown out and everyone's back in the ring, I noticed this right off the bat. Show actually helps pick Shaquille O'Neal up and then puts his arm around him and walks him out.
Yeah,
It was just so fucking weird. These two were staring down a few moments ago.
I know, it's just stuff like that which makes it really
Yeah.
weird.
Another internet glitch here for about 30 seconds, so I'm not sure if I missed anything for the next 30 seconds or not. Tatanka is thrown out by Baron Corbin, who is also making his main roster debut in this match, by the way.
Right.
Jack Swagger is thrown out by Kane. The Outcast then team up and take control for a short amount of time. Truth gets thrown out by the Outcast, as do Goldust. Curtis Axel then gets thrown out by Kane. Adam Rose gets thrown out by Corbin. Corbin gets chokeslammed by Kane. Heath Slater gets thrown out by Mark Henry. Tyler
Jeez,
Breeze.
you remember a lot more about this already than I do.
I'm not remembering anything. These were all typed out. I'm looking at a list.
Even though you typed it out, you still technically remember to actually talk about it. There's that.
Well, fair enough. Tyler Breeze gets thrown out by Mark Henry as well. And then Henry gets thrown out by Kane and Darren Young, strangely enough. Young and Bo Dallas then get thrown out by Kane. And finally, Kane is eliminated by Baron Corbin, who in his WrestleMania debut wins the Andre the Giant Battle... The Battle Royal, whatever. Fucking, well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, the whatever.
Too many fucking words.
So many words.
Yeah.
Baron Corbin won the thing.
Yeah, I thought it was okay for a Battle Royal, I guess.
It was not
okay.
terrible.
Yeah,
it was
wasn't terrible.
It was just a battle royal, to be honest.
Yeah. Short and sweet, I guess.
Yep.
And here we go. I only have a couple minutes left. And by the way, guys, we will be taking a break shortly, but we will cover this first before we head off into our break. It'll be instantaneous for you, but for us, it'll be a couple hours. One more thing to talk about before we actually take the break, though. First, we find out that WrestleMania 33 will be held in Orlando, which is okay, I guess. The Rock's home state, so I'm guessing he'll have something to do there.
We'll be promoting it again. Hey, remember The Rock, right?
I think he'll have a match next year if it's in Orlando.
Well, he did technically have a match here.
I know. We'll get to that in a moment. Out come the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. Yeah, I have no interest in this.
Me neither.
They dance and whatever for about 30 seconds a minute. I can't remember. All I know is I kind of blanked out. I mean, I like looking at attractive women as well, I guess, but I'm not here to see that. I'm here to see wrestling, so...
Yeah, all I remember was just being like, this is, whatever.
And then out comes The Rock. Bringing with him a prop from what looks like his Doom movie that he was in.
Yeah, I honestly thought that too. It looked like it just came straight from that.
Yeah, Rock, the thing he's got is basically a flamethrower. He basically sets alight his name that's on a bunch of metallic letters that's about 6 feet tall, sets that on fire, so The Rock is blazing now, I guess. He finally gets into the ring. This has taken a good 5 minutes already, I think. We get a typical Rock promo. He talks about the fact that the attendance is like 101,763, which apparently is a lie. It was actually closer to 80,000, I think.
I've heard reports as low as 85,000 to as high as 97,000.
Here's the thing. I call bullshit on this for many reasons. One, wrestling is not in a boom period right now. If you couldn't get 100,000 in attendance during the WrestleMania era or from the Hulkamania era or the Attitude Era, you're not going to get it now.
Nope.
Not a chance in hell. But yeah, as I got here, 101,763 in attendance. I don't believe this is what I've got in brackets in terms of the actual number.
Right.
The Rock gets interrupted by the Wyatts. Bray gets a decent pop. What have I got here? Essentially, they talk, they trade bards and all that shit. Then Rock basically challenges them to a match. Rowan is the one from the Wyatt family that takes the match. I like the fact that The Rock just pulls at his fucking his pants and they just come flying off and he's wearing his fucking ring gear underneath. Yeah. I just fucking laugh. I just let out a loud laugh at that. I thought it was hilarious. The match starts. Rowan goes for a clothesline. Rock turns it into a rock bottom. Match is over in 6 seconds.
Yep.
After that, the Wyatts surround the ring. And
Do I really
then
have to even rate this match, to be honest?
no, don't bother. It was a
I'm just,
segment. It was a
I'm gonna
glorified
give it. I'm
segment.
just gonna rate it a non-applicable.
Yeah, an F. The Wyatts surround the ring, and then out comes John Cena. Cena and Rock clean house with the Wyatts, hitting a bunch of finishers and signatures. This was a fucking waste of time.
Yeah.
20 minutes wasted on this shit. I am sorry. You know, I had a problem with the thing earlier with HBK, Foley, and Steve Austin. That was 5 minutes. This was 20 fucking minutes. Might have even been longer than that.
20 minutes of absolute snooze fest.
Yeah, the Rock. Here's the thing. All they used The Rock for was to announce the attendance, which was a fucking lie anyway. Let's face it. The fucking Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, I did no fucking interest in that. I would like to actually see a rivalry between The Rock and Bray Wyatt, but then you waste Cena's return, who wasn't actually returning but just making an appearance. I don't fucking know. This was... I can't think of anything else other than a waste of time. 20 minutes that could have gone to the Divas match, sorry, the women's match, the AJ and Chris Jericho match. Could have gone to those matches, but no, let's have a fucking Rock segment where nothing fucking happens. Oh, fuck me.
Yeah. This was like, why?
I know, it was fucking wasted. Do you know what, because I've still got some time left, we'll just do the last match here before we move on to the next segments, when we can meet up again. But yeah, for the last match, we get a build up, obviously. WWE Championship match, Triple H a champion, Roman Reigns a challenger. Reigns dick sucking promo, no thank you, piss break.
Yep.
I caught the end of it. What the fuck are these? Is what I've got next, because Triple H comes out. He has his normal whatever, you know. But during the promo, the end of it was weird because they had a bunch of creatures that looked like the gentleman from that Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode.
Yeah, well, the thing was, like, the thing started with, like, Stephanie kind of, like, dressed up in gear, like, making some promo about, like, how...
No, I'm talking about before that Steph promo, the actual video package.
Oh, right. Yeah, I don't know.
It was weird. Yeah, Steph comes out dressed like a fucking fantasy RPG game character.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the type you want to fuck, but she's actually evil, so... But,
the type that I wouldn't want to fuck.
I wouldn't mind, but... I did mention one thing she brought up was she says all hope will be gone. And I said, oh my god, are you not fucking kidding, love?
All hope will be gone. Gee, you certainly predicted that one.
I don't know if Triple H got cheered or not, because I think I had to take my headphones off for a moment.
Yeah, he did get a decent reaction. I mean, there were obviously boos in there because he's supposed to be the heel bad guy thing. And I guess people were playing up to that. But he did get cheers because...
Well, he is Triple H, and against who he is... Triple H is a good wrestler, but considering who he's up against here, yeah, he was the face chosen by the crowd. But yeah... so yeah, apparently Triple H does come out to a majority face pop, we'll call it, even if he did get a few boos here and there. But oh, you want to hear boos? Out comes the challenger to an outstanding ovation of people booing the shit out of him.
If the booings were so bad that WWE decided we're gonna mute the microphone, we're gonna lower the volume so you can't really hear the boos as much. I'm thinking, listen, you dumbasses, this is your audience. This is the people who help make your company still keep going. You're gonna mute them? Really?
Yeah, pretty much. They do, for the end of the match and for Roman's intro, they mute the crowd. But throughout the entire match, they don't do that, obviously, because they can't. But you can hear throughout the match that the crowd are cheering for Triple H. Every time he does a move to Roman, every time he gets the upper hand, they are cheering for Hunter.
Yeah, it was just so obvious. It's like, I don't care who you think you are. You should leave their reactions as they are. Because the thing is, by doing that, people will just point that out to you and make
Yeah.
it even worse. I understand they're supposed to be like, okay, maybe he's. I imagine their incentive was to make the people watching at home think, okay, they're maybe just be dying out or something. No, by doing that, you're basically are making it more and more obvious
Well, here's the
that
thing. Sorry,
you
carry on.
don't want him to be booed, but there's no avoiding that because he's going to be booed.
Well, it's not even the fact that it's going to stop them being booed. What you're doing is you can either have. It seems in WWE's mind they've got a choice between two things. They can either let the boos be there, or they'll turn the music down, which makes Roman look even worse because there's no fucking sound. Nobody's cheering, no one's booing, and then, as they said in wrestling, the worst thing you can hear is silence.
Right.
So it's either
And
pick your poison.
Yeah, and they're trying to silence the crowds by lowering them. It's like that's the worst thing you can do, and they tried to do it. And I accidentally hit my snowball, which was okay because later tonight I'm going to get my pop filter's going to be arriving from Amazon.
Fair enough. But like you say, by trying to minimize the booing for Reigns, you're making him look even worse by making him count to general silence.
Yep.
Anyway, we start off the match.
To this.
Yeah, we start the match off. Triple H sends Roman outside. Triple H takes control for the match very early on, being very technical as is Triple H. Reigns takes control takes control of the match to a lot of booing from the audience. We get a Roman sucks chant as well.
Didn't take long.
Nope. One thing I will praise on is I do like that missile drop kick that Reigns does on the outside, where he basically jumps up and hits somebody who was laid on the ring rope and he's on the outside. It's actually a really nice thing.
Okay, here's the thing I want to bring up about Reigns as a wrestler. It's not that he's a bad wrestler.
I don't know, dude.
I mean, no. Here's the thing. I'd say athleticism, he is better than Cena, but I think the problem is he's still too green.
Dude, I counted here. Reigns did no more than 4 or 5 different moves in this match, and that was it.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons. That's why I'm saying
he has no fucking arsenal of moves. He is limited even more so than Cena.
Yeah.
I think the missile drop kick's called the drive-by. At least that's what Michael Cole called it. A low blow by Triple H. Roman Reigns sucks chance. Yeah, I know. We got another Roman Reigns sucks chance. Triple H takes control again. The two trade blows. We get a nice spinebuster from Triple H for a 2 count. Reigns is thrown out. Sorry, I thought you were going to say something.
No, I just had to clear my throat.
Reigns gets thrown outside. They slam each other's faces into the final standing announce table that poor thing's all alone now since the Hell in a Cell match. A nice swinging neckbreaker off the table by Triple H. Knee off the middle rope onto Reigns for a 2 count on inside the ring. Roman then takes control, gets a Samoan drop for a 2 count. The Superman punch is avoided and Triple H goes to the outside. Triple H is then sent into the steel steps by Reigns. Reigns then in turn is sent into the steps by Triple H, and then Reigns spears Triple H through the barricade. Superman punch counted into an armbar. Reigns counters that into a powerbomb for a 2 count. Basically picks up Triple H. Pretty much your typical power move by the power guy. We see Cena do that a lot actually.
Yes.
Triple H back with another armbar, counted into a powerbomb again. We didn't get the pedigree counted. Triple H sent outside where he's speared by Reigns. Steph yanks the ref out and the ref goes back in and only gets Roman only gets a 2 count.
Yeah.
Steph gets into the ring, gets into the ref's face. Reigns goes to spear Triple H. He ducks, but he gets Stephanie. I think
that's one of the only things he got cheered for.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think this is the only time this year Reigns has been cheered, is when he spears Stephanie.
Especially because when you look at it this way, like, the one problem that has often been complained is that Stephanie never gets her comeuppance. Like,
Very rarely.
She's just able to abuse people, like, and constantly slapping them in the face, and there's no retribution for her.
I think the problem
I think the fact that she got the spear here was basically a way of being like, oh, finally.
Yeah, I think the problem is we're not in. It's the PG era now. You can't have guys hitting women.
No, of course I can understand that,
No, I'm
obviously,
just saying.
but
I think that's why we don't see Steph getting her comeuppance anymore. Because other than the divas who could beat the shit out of her, or last year with like Ronda Rousey, you can't really have anyone come in and beat Stephanie up. This isn't like back in 2000 where The Rock would constantly be rock bottoming and people's elbowing her all the time. It's just not something they're allowed to do now. It is
yeah.
nice to see it
To
done.
me, to me though, it's kind of like, they should only be able to do so if they're provoked from her.
Again, I kind of agree with you, but at the same time, I can see why they don't do it. Even here, it wasn't like Reigns actually meant to spear Stephanie. It was set up as an accident.
Yes.
He speared her because Triple H moved out of the way, and Steph caught all the spear. So it's not like
I don't know. I don't know. That's just to me. That's how I look at it. I mean,
that's fair enough.
I can understand why that stuff won't isn't usually supposed to happen. I can fully understand. Like I don't blame them at all,
Yeah,
because, but it's like to me, it's like if it should you should be getting like if you're beating down someone too much, you should at some point you're probably gonna have it coming to you, and that's not saying if it's just for women. It'll be for like a guy too.
oh, absolutely.
Like if basically, yeah.
But like I said, but yeah, this basically pisses Triple H off, who hits Reigns for a pedigree for a 2 count. We get the Superman punch, but the spear gets countered with a high knee, which was actually a nice move by Triple H. It looked very crisp.
Right.
He just slams his fucking knee into Reigns, and I loved every second of it.
You were glad,
Oh,
to say
absolutely.
the least. Like,
Both men are down in
yeah,
the
take it,
ring.
asshole.
Both men are down in the ring. Steph is still hurt outside, but she does manage to hand Triple H the good old sledgehammer. Uh, Two Superman punchers and a spear for a 3 count, and the crowd boos the crap until the production truck decides to mute the crowd.
Again, because
Again,
like,
I will give it this. This was an okay match. It
the
didn't deserve.
match
It didn't
was
deserve to be.
okay.
It didn't deserve to be the WrestleMania main event. And
Nope.
Triple H was the one that carried this.
Yes, that's the thing with me. Is I think the one thing that saved the match from being bad was the fact that Triple H carried the match.
Let me put it this way: if you put Triple H in the ring with, like, say, Shawn Michaels, you're gonna have a match of the year contender. If you put him in the ring with
Yeah,
with a average wrestler, you're gonna get an okay match. You're never really gonna get a bad match out of Triple H. It's practically impossible to get a bad match out of Triple H. The guy is
yeah,
just too professional. He's too crisp. Say what you want about him behind the scenes and stuff. He can get a good match out of anyone, or at least a passable match out of anyone. And
yeah.
I thought he got a decent match out of Reigns, but the problem is, you're not always going to have guys that can make Reigns look good.
Nope.
And here's the thing: Reigns did not look good here. He was
He
booed for the.
did.
He got booed the entire match. He had, all right, I will list it off. He had spears. He had Superman punches. He had that drive-by missile dropkick thing, which he only did once.
Mm,
He had, I guess you could count just general punches, where it's not the Superman punch, I guess. And that
yeah.
was about it. I
Right.
can't think of another fucking move the guy did. Four things, and even one of them is just general punches. So 3 fucking moves is all he performed this entire match.
Pretty
I am
much.
sorry, but you cannot. He did not look like a champion.
No, he didn't.
Ugh. We talked about this at Roadblock. We said as long as Reigns was not. Reigns celebrating with the title wasn't how WrestleMania went out. It they could I don't know. They basically ended the show the worst way possible.
Uh huh.
Reigns celebrates with the title. Confetti's falling. You can hear his music, but you can hear practically no sound from the crowd because they've muted the negative reaction he's getting. Uh, it was it was bad. The match itself was okay. Triple H pretty much saved the match, but the booking for this match was atrocious.
Yeah, and that was a big complaint with a lot of people. A lot of people felt that they really did not book this
Yeah.
WrestleMania very well.
Uh,
Because if you think about it, excluding the pre-show, when you really break it down, only one face really won their match, and because I do not include Reigns as a face because
no, nobody with half a mind includes Reigns as a face here. You know, as you said, only one face really won here tonight.
was Ryder,
Was sorry.
was Zack Ryder.
Yeah, probably. Uh,
I mean, and I mean that's the thing. I don't mind heels winning matches. Of course, I can't. I was expecting a couple of heels to win some matches, but it was like after Ryder, it's like all the heels won. I was like, what? Like, where's the? It should have been a bit more variety. Like, have a face and the heel, and the heel and the face and the face heel. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They didn't do that.
Yeah, it's definitely the worst, one of the worst booked WrestleManias, I guess you could say.
Yes.
Let me put it this way: this is not the worst WrestleMania of all time, despite what people might want to say. This is not the worst by far.
This is not WrestleMania 9 or 27.
Yeah. This was, well, we'll do our overall rating for the pay per view first before we do the match and the night moment of the night. All that shit. What was your overall rating for this pay per view?
I'd say probably a. I'm shuffling between a C plus and a B minus.
That's up to you. I will tell you mine since I know exactly what it is. I gave this overall pay per view a C.
Okay, you were a little more critical. I probably just yeah. I guess the more I think about it, more probably just a C plus at the most.
I say, I would give this a B minus if it was any other pay per view but WrestleMania.
Yes.
It's WrestleMania. It's supposed to mean a lot more. It should have been better than this. This was at best a mediocre pay per view, and a mediocre WrestleMania. I don't consider this a good WrestleMania. I don't consider it a bad one. It's just in the middle.
Yep.
Right, let's go to our free awards for the night. First of all, let's go with, since we've already spoiled it, match of the night.
Match of the night for me was the Triple Threat Women's Championship match.
Exactly the same for me. We've already said, I would actually say, as we've said, the match of the night by far. Would have liked to seen the match go on a bit longer, but easily outshined anything else on this pay-per-view.
Pretty much.
Alright, superstar of the night.
Well, I went first for the first thing, so it's time for you to go first.
Alright. Just because of how well he did, I'm going to give it to Shane McMahon.
Really?
For a 46-year-old guy who's not a in-ring wrestler, who doesn't do this for a living, doesn't wrestle like 300 plus days of the year, I thought he did a very good job.
Well, I suppose I see your reasons, so...
At the end of the day, I expect better out of everyone else. He did more than I expected to for someone that's coming back for one match, so...
Superstar for me. I wanted to say Shane McMahon. I really wanted to. Cause
you don't have to agree with me, dude.
The things that you brought up, you're making me think, maybe you're really on point with that. For me, though, it's honestly very hard to say. I want to say... This may seem a bit to some people for me saying this because, I'm actually wanting to tip my hat to AJ Styles.
Nothing wrong with that, dude.
I think he just had a really, the match he and Jericho had was a really good match. I really liked it. I know you said you expected more of it, but honestly, I just think it was just a really good match. So,
how about that? First pay-per-view that isn't NXT where we don't pick Ambrose. Or at least he doesn't get one vote, anyway, from one of us.
And the worst superstar was not Dean Ambrose either, so...
Alright, so we've had Superstar of the Night, Moment of the Night now.
Do you really have to ask this?
The 20-foot cell drop from Shane.
The cell drop, easily.
Yeah, I will say right off the bat, there wasn't actually that many WrestleMania moments this year.
I could have been that person, be like, oh, the best moment was when Ray speared Stephanie. But like, I would have to be like, I would have to be drunk and high to say that.
Yeah, there really wasn't that many moments for this pay per view, and for WrestleMania, that's actually a pretty bad thing. But the Shane McMahon elbow drop off the top of the Hell in a Cell will go down in history as one of the best moments in WWE history. It's up there with Mick Foley's fall off the cell. So,
Yep.
2 awards from me for Shane, 1 from you. So he's been at 1 pay per view and already has 3 awards.
Yes, it does.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
Alright, guys, we have more to come in a few hours for us, but being with you, we're going to have our trivia challenge obviously coming up where we'll ask each other 3 questions.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about the fallout from WrestleMania, because as we have said, Raw and SmackDown have both taken place since we've done this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Since WrestleMania, and we're us starting this episode, so we'll talk about some of the things that happened there, and talk about where we think things will go from there on out.
And I really have to pee.
Alright, so we'll see you guys pretty shortly. Until then, goodbye.
Deuce is.
And we're back, guys. We apologize for any inconvenience, I guess, if we go on a tangent or anything, but it's been about 3.5 hours since we did part
really?
1.
I thought it was 2 months.
Not quite that fucking long.
No, of course not.
Literally, it has been about 3 hours, I think, since we finished earlier. Maybe 4?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. We had just finished, I believe, talking about WrestleMania overall.
Yes, we were.
Yep, you gave it a C+, I think, and I gave it a C.
Yeah.
Yeah, WrestleMania definitely did not live up to NXT TakeOver Dallas.
No, the thing with this WrestleMania was it's not that it was like WrestleMania 9 bad, WrestleMania 27 bad, or anything like that. It was just it just wasn't after comparing it to when you compare it to 30 and 31, 32 just unfortunately doesn't hold up as much.
Well, it's not even just that much. I mean, I was thinking about it earlier, and I was saying to myself, not you, this is, as you said, it's not good, it's not bad, it's just a very mediocre WrestleMania. And as I said, if it wasn't for the whole Shane McMahon jumping off the Hell in a Cell, this would be one of the most forgettable WrestleManias.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make it bad, it just makes it forgettable.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think we've gone on about WrestleMania long enough for now, because we're going to be talking about the Raw that's followed and the SmackDown if we have to, and where we think everything's going to go from here on out. But first and foremost, we have the Wrestling Trivia Challenge.
Oh boy!
3 questions each. We test each other's knowledge about the world of WWE strictly as well. We don't do anything else. We also try to keep everything post WrestleMania 1. I believe the scores are currently tied, but I can't remember what they're tied at.
Fuck.
Is it like 7 apiece? Something like that?
7-2, I think. Or at least I believe so.
We've both got... we'll just call it 7 apiece for now.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're tied anyway, so no one's losing out. So do you want to go first, or shall I?
Why don't you go first?
What, asking the question or answering?
Asking the question.
Okay. Oh, and by the way, we are working on a honor system here. No going on the internet for answers or anything like that.
Internet. All the way.
All right. Kidding. This one is going to be a bit tricky. In fact, they're all quite tricky, actually, but I'm going to do this one first. And I'm going to save the WrestleMania question for last. All right. Who, including the winner, who were the last 4 men in the 1994 Royal Rumble?
1994 Royal Rumble.
1994.
Okay. Yeah, I said. Yeah, no. I
thought you said 84.
No, I said 94.
Oh, sorry.
The Rumble wasn't even around in 84.
I was gonna say.
Okay, so here's the thing with the 94 Royal Rumble. That was the Rumble where it was co-winners.
Yes, you were correct.
Both Bret Hart and Lex Luger were co-winners. I remembered that. What I'm trying to remember was who were the other two.
I tell you what, if you can get one of the other two, you can consider that a point to you.
Was one of the others Shawn Michaels?
Yes.
Oh,
You
hey.
get the point, but just to see if you can do it, who was the other one?
I almost want to say Marty Jannetty, but that's
No.
probably not it.
I can tell you right now, it's not Mario Jannetty.
um,
I don't think the guy was in WWE employment at the time.
was it a guy who had a gimmick change later on?
Yes.
Ooh, that actually narrows it down for me a bit. Because I remember they were doing a little bit for him, and then they slowly change, and then of course a few years later he changed to become one of his employees. I'm going to say Fatu.
Oh, you're lucky fuck. Sorry, I had a mouthful of noodles when you said that, but yeah, he got all four of them: Brett, Lex, HBK, and Fatu. Fatu, sorry. Alright, Thunder, 8 to you, 7 to me at the moment. First question, if you would.
Okay, so I had to retype it because I made some typos, but the first question for me is, what do Daniel Bryan and Chris Benoit have in common when each respective men won their championship match for the case of Benoit, WrestleMania 20, and for Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania 30, and it has to do with the finish of the match.
Well, it could be a number of things. It could be the fact that they won by submission.
There you go. That's all I needed.
I was going to say, because they both have very similar finishes as well. Chris Benoit finished with a crossface, and Bryan finished with the yes lock, which looks very much like a crossface to me.
Yeah. That's pretty much they're pretty much the same thing.
All right.
Not only that, they had a moment in the match where they emulated a scene in the match where in WrestleMania 20 and 30, like both Benoit and Bryan were thrown into a table by the other two men.
Well, let's hope that's where the similarities end for Benoit and Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyways.
We don't want to go down the same fucking route.
No.
All right.
Anyways.
This one, I actually think this is a bit easier than the previous question, but at the same time, it's not an easy question.
Okay.
Judgment Day 2000, Triple H and The Rock had a 60-minute Iron Man match. What was the final score?
Oh, okay. Now, it's interesting that you point that out because I know exactly what happened. Mm-hmm. Like basically, the winning decision was given by the referee, Shawn Michaels. Like he gave it to him. I want to say it was 6-5.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
That is correct.
Yay! I think I remember it because I've seen so many highlights of when Undertaker showed up that night.
That was actually my first pay-per-view, Judgment Day 2000, and I was enthralled watching that match back in the day.
What a start!
Yeah, Judgment Day 2000 was a fantastic pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, question 2, if you would.
All right, second question.
Oh, by the way, we apologize. We're both feeding at the moment, so...
Yes. Who was the first opponent for Batista in 2005 after he was drafted to SmackDown? Like, basically, the next pay-per-view he did for the championship. Who was the first person to face him?
Right, so he went to SmackDown as champion, right?
Yeah, in 2005.
Alright, well, let me think about this for a second. He won it at WrestleMania 21 against Triple H. Mm-hmm. He had a couple matches with Triple H afterwards. I think the last one was at Bad Blood. It was a Hell in a Cell match with Triple H, and then that would be his last match as part of the Raw roster, correct?
Correct.
Alright. I'm just doing this so I can get a feel for the time.
Do you want me to tell you what pay-per-view it was that he had his first match as part of the SmackDown brand?
If Bad Blood was that, then I would have thought the next pay-per-view would have been... Wouldn't it have been SummerSlam?
No, it would not have been SummerSlam.
Vengeance?
Vengeance was where they had the Hell in a Cell match.
Was it? I thought that was Bad Blood.
Nope, it was Vengeance.
Oh, okay.
Bad Blood was discontinued the year before.
Oh, right. Okay.
I should have clarified that.
It's okay, don't worry. It's not a big deal anyway. I know that his last Raw match as a champion was against Triple H, so...
yeah.
Excuse me.
It was the pay-per-view was in July 2005, and
This is actually a tricky question. I'm just trying to think who was part of the the upper what do you call it? The upper card of the roster at that time for SmackDown.
do you need some sort of hint?
No, I don't want any hints. It's just
Okay.
trying to think. Just give me a minute, and I will think of something. Alright. I don't. 2005 would have been roughly around. I don't think it was JBL, but I'm not gonna. Would JBL even? Yeah, JBL would have been a character at this point, wouldn't he? Because he defended against what do you call him? Oh, maybe,
Yeah, like
no. Cause
JBL was part of the higher roster in 2005.
here's the
Like
thing. Here's the thing. I'm actually thinking it might be JBL because he would have lost the WWE Championship to John Cena at WrestleMania. And then he had the same. He had a couple matches back to back with Cena, like Batista did with Triple H. So I think as soon as I'll go with JBL actually. Yeah,
Final answer,
yeah.
and you, sir, are correct.
Oh, great.
It was
Woo!
JBL at the Great American Bash 2005.
All right, so I believe that's 9 apiece then.
Yeah, and here's the thing. JBL technically won the match, but
Did
by
he?
disqualification.
Oh, okay then. All right. What was my Oh yeah, here we go. Last question, and this one's gonna be a doozy for you.
Oh boy.
Let me put it this way. I will be fucking impressed if you get this one.
Okay.
And it's a pretty long one as well.
Oh fuck.
All right. How many times at WrestleMania has the Intercontinental Championship changed hands?
Oh my fucking god.
Oh, and by the way, this does include pre-shows.
Oh god. You really pulled all the stops for this one.
I will say technically, it's one more than I've got, but I'm not going to count WrestleMania 6 because even though the IC strap was vacated by Ultimate Warrior that night, I'm not counting that one.
Right. Okay.
All right,
That's fine.
But everything other than that, go ahead.
So
I don't need
how
to.
many
I don't need to
times
know
it
how what. I don't need to know what the matches are. Just how many times it did change hands.
yeah. So you just need how many times it changed hands.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh shit.
I had to come up with a WrestleMania related question.
Okay.
So,
What I can tell you is the first time it changed hands was WrestleMania 3.
That is
I
correct.
remember that.
Yeah, that's
because it was when Steamboat won against Savage, and one of the best matches I've ever seen in my life.
I do think it's a good match. I don't think it's as good as, like, say, maybe Taker Shawn Michaels, but
No, Taker and Shawn Michaels I like more as well.
yeah.
So, okay. I'm just trying to remember here.
It is a hard question. I came up with the hardest possible question I could here.
Okay, WrestleMania 4 did not have... WrestleMania 4, there was no title change. WrestleMania 5 did have a title change. WrestleMania 6, it was vacated.
Yes, as I already said, but that one won't count, so...
Yeah, of course. WrestleMania 7 was none. WrestleMania 8, I know that was another one. So I think that's 3 so far that I named in my head. I just gotta remember here, because there's so many WrestleManias.
There are 32 WrestleManias, yes.
Yep.
Don't think if you can't get this one, just take a stab in the dark if you... Take all the time you need, but if you can't think, just take a stab at it. That's what I did with the JBL
No,
question.
right, I understand. It was WrestleMania 2000. I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting one already at this point. Since I know Zack Ryder's counts, I want to say, and the only reason I say this is because of what culture video. Is it 11 times?
Is that your final answer?
I'm just gonna say it. Is it 11 times? Yes.
Incorrect.
Oh, fuck.
You weren't far off. It was 10.
Oh, god damn it.
I have actually got the list here, so if you don't mind, I'll just go through them really quick.
Please.
WrestleMania 3, Savage Steamboat.
Right.
WrestleMania 5, Rick Rude and Ultimate Warrior.
Dreams
WrestleMania 8, Roddy Piper and Bret Hart.
3.
Then there wasn't one for a while because the next one was WrestleMania 16, Triple Threat, Benoit, Angle, and Chris Jericho.
4.
WrestleMania 18, RVD and Regal.
5.
WrestleMania 25, JBL and Rey Mysterio.
6.
WrestleMania 28, Big Show and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, you were right. It was 10.
Yep. WrestleMania 29,
I
I think
counted one too many.
Yeah, WrestleMania 29, it was Miz and Barrett. WrestleMania 31 was the ladder match. I'm not going to name all the participants, and we had the ladder match as well this year.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot harder than it sounds, because he did fucking well. I would not have probably gotten Rude Warrior myself. I might have gotten most of the others, but
I really wish I said 10 now.
yeah. What were you thinking of for an 11th?
I'm trying to remember now.
Oh well, I have a chance here to take the lead.
I think it was WrestleMania 10 because
the Intercontinental Championship was a ladder match.
it was a unification match, is what the thing was. Ramon was the champion, but Michaels said that he was still champion because no one beat him.
Yeah,
so I think that was where I got confused.
It's an honest mistake to get confused by that, but like I said, you did well enough there. You were only like one out, so.
At least that's good.
Alright, I've got a chance here to take the lead, finally, and get rid of this deadlock we've had constantly since the beginning of this game.
I really want this deadlock to keep going.
Alright, my final question, if you would.
Okay. Who was the person to defeat Gregory Helms' reign as the longest cruiserweight champion? Like, who was the person to end Gregory Helms' reign?
As cruiserweight champion.
Cruiserweight.
You mean, yeah, obviously, because it's WWE, we have to do WWE.
I technically actually put down 4 questions now that I just looked at it.
Well, you can do the next one anyway, it just won't count.
Right.
This isn't a trick question by any chance, is it?
What do you mean?
No, it wouldn't be. Sorry, I was getting confused there for a second. I want to say this would have been around maybe 2007-ish?
2007.
Yeah. Can you tell... this will probably go as a bit of a hint. Can you tell me when the Cruiserweight Championship was disbanded?
Okay, well, here's the thing with the championship. Hang on.
You don't have to give me the hint if you don't want to.
Okay. It was retired in 2008. In March 2008 was when they officially discontinued the championship, but it was technically already, quote unquote, like it was already on a 6-month absence by then.
All right, so let's think. I'm trying to think of the cruiserweights around that time. To be honest, they pretty much already got rid of the division, like you said. There was practically nothing going on, so.
No, that's why they retired it at the time.
Fuck. I'm thinking Hornswoggle, but I think there's someone before him. Fuck. No, I don't want to go with Hornswoggle. I don't know. I know Hornswoggle was technically the last one, but I don't think he beat Gregory Helms for it. Oh, fuck. If I can remember who Hornswoggle beat, that's the person I'm going to go with, but who was it he beat? Because it had to be... Whoever lost the title to Hornswoggle is who beat Gregory Helms. And the only cruiserweight I can think of around that time was Chavo Guerrero.
Is that who you're going to go with?
It's going to have to be, because I can't think of a single other cruiserweight at the time.
Alright, then there you go. Congratulations, you won.
I'm right?
Yes.
Oh, the deadlock is broken! Ooh!
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I could think one more. Jamie Noble, but I don't remember him being the one to lose to Hornswoggle, so...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Alright, well, that was a trivia challenge. I am now on 10. Thunder is on 9.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit, though, I got lucky with 2 of those because I took a guess on both.
And you had to give me that really curveball one.
Yeah. It was Wrestlemania, dude. I'm sorry, but I had to come up with something difficult.
Right.
I'm sure you'll get me back next time.
Maybe.
Alright, so the trivia challenge is out the way. Wrestlemania is out the way. Let's jump into Raw. I'm actually going to get like a results page up so we can just sort of take a look at some of the highlights, shall we?
Right.
Because, quite honestly, the Raw after WrestleMania is usually a big event for the year. It's usually the most looked forward to Raw of the entire year. Personally, I didn't actually find a whole lot on it all that interesting. I mean, there was a lot of NXT call-ups, but nothing... nothing that really surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Vince comes out, and as does Shane, and he gives control of Raw to Shane for one night, I think it was supposed to be.
Here's the reason why. Basically, Vince is gloating about how my Undertaker beat Shane McMahon. And Shane came out saying, I thank you, I lost.
Yeah, pretty much.
And goodbye. And he's like, no. And then he's stopping him like, no. You're not one-upping me. You really want to see what it would be like to control Raw for night to see why I think it'd be a bad idea. And then everyone was all saying he should, and then he decided, fuck it, let's just do it.
Yeah, here's the thing, guys.
Now, tonight, WWE's doing a storyline where because of the positive reaction, Shane's running Raw again tonight.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. We just want to make something clear. Just because Shane might have won the match against Undertaker doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme. That's just storyline. That wouldn't have actually meant he took over control of the business truthfully. So you're still going to get Vince McMahon's crappy booking overall. It's just going to make it look like it's Shane that's booking the show now.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm just sending you the link to like the results of Raw just in case you want to like notes and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I've just sent him a quick link. That pretty much happened. Shane took control of Raw. I thought it was for one night, but apparently it's going to be for this week as well, according to Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
New Day did defend their titles. Ironically, not at WrestleMania, but they did on Raw.
Which I thought was a bit strange.
Yeah, I felt that was strange actually as well, especially when I read about it. There was a number 1 contender match between... Oh, actually, we'll go to that next because something I know you want to talk about because you're a fan of the guy. Ryder lost his IC Championship to The Miz. Personally, I don't like Ryder. I never have. I don't particularly like The Miz either, so this had no interest for me, but I'm sure you've got a lot to say.
Okay, now I finished taking that bite. It felt so pointless to give the title to him if he's just going to lose it the next night.
Who's the guy they took out of the ladder match for WrestleMania who got injured?
Neville.
You don't suppose he was supposed to win the belt, do you, by any chance?
He may have. I wouldn't be surprised.
And they decided, fuck it, we'll just put it on Ryder for one night. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe this... Perhaps that Ryder's contract's coming up and they wanted to give him, like, one moment before he left.
Yeah, because more than likely he was going to... Who's going to go.
The only thing I really know of any worth here is the fact that Maurice is now back. Basically being the Miz's valet, I guess.
Yep.
But yeah, Miz beats Ryder for the IC strap. Ryder has a one-day title reign as Intercontinental Champion.
Hooray, I guess.
Yeah, as we already mentioned... Sorry?
Yeah, you already mentioned about like the New Day thing. You kind of skipped through that, though.
I didn't really see any point to mention much about it, to be honest.
Well, the thing is, the New Day won't retain, but Sheamus gets frustrated and like he's sick and tired of it, and they should be destroying everyone at WWE, and that he's going on about they're only as strong as weakest link. So then they basically, um, like Rusev and Del Rio grabs Barrett, and basically Sheamus gives him a broad kick and kick Barrett out of the ring.
I don't think anyone was surprised by this, though.
And then an interesting thing was the Wyatt family. Lights went on, and the Wyatt family was in the ring, and the Wyatts were beating down on the League of Nations.
So maybe a face turn for the Wyatts?
Honestly, I think it's a face turn that could work for the group, because I see the potential money profiting if there was ever a Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt match.
Well, if Wyatt went in as the face.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, Barrett getting kicked out of the League of Nations, I think, didn't surprise anyone. You're okay there with the pretzel bag?
No, I'm good.
Barrett getting knocked out of the League of Nations, I don't think surprised anyone, especially since he's supposed to be leaving soon, so...
Yeah, his contract's coming to a close.
Yeah, so that, I think, was to be expected. I'm surprised it didn't happen at WrestleMania, to be honest, but... Oh well. The Dudleys and the Usos, as we already mentioned, had a tables match. We mentioned that earlier in the WrestleMania part, so we don't really have to go over that again.
Right.
The main event of Raw was the Fatal 4-Way No. 1 Contenders match between Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, AJ Styles, and the returning Cesaro.
Which was nice to see.
I didn't watch the match, but...
There wasn't the only return on the show. There was a segment where Enzo and Cass were on.
Enzo and Cass debuted. Apollo Crews debuted as well. There's a couple of NXT call-ups here. But again, I was expecting that anyway because it's the Raw after WrestleMania. I actually was expecting something better, though. It's not so much I didn't want to see these guys on Raw, it's just I was expecting like an actual surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it just didn't surprise me that they called a bunch of guys up, that's all. But I think the biggest surprise probably of the night is who won the Fatal 4-Way.
AJ Styles.
Yep, and we brought this up earlier. This is why I have a bit of a problem with him losing at WrestleMania, because they give him the number 1 contender spot the night after.
Mm-hmm. Understandable.
It just feels like, okay, you have him losing a one-on-one contest and then have him win a Fatal 4-Way against 3 competitors, one of which is who he lost to the previous night. From what I hear, it was actually a really good match, but...
Right.
I said the biggest surprise for me here is the fact that AJ Styles is now the number 1 contender for Roman Reigns' WWE Championship at, I think, the next pay-per-view's Payback. Give me a second, I'll get it up.
I think it's... I think it's... I was going to say it was Extreme Rules, but I think they moved that. Yeah, that's Payback.
I was going to say, I think, as you said, they've moved Payback.
Extreme Rules. Extreme Rules is now after Payback.
Yeah, makes sense, I guess. But yeah, it's the only match that's on the card so far, so...
Yeah, it was originally supposed to be Extreme Rules, then Payback, but they switched the two around.
I guess because you just had WrestleMania, you may as well go into what's seen as a lesser pay-per-view, and then you have Extreme Rules, which is all like hardcore matches and shit. You know, so it spreads it out a little bit, I guess. Because you used to get Elimination Chamber, then Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania, then Extreme Rules. So you'd have like 4 pretty intensive pay-per-views, one after the other there.
Right.
So it makes sense to like put Payback beforehand, so it kind of breaks it up.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, one match, AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns. I suppose we could do a prediction here. No chance whatsoever of AJ going over.
And the thing, too, about AJ is that he didn't win it to face him at Payback. I think he won it for a future shot at the title.
Maybe. Yeah, I still see this happening. Alright, let's pretend for a second that it is happening at Payback.
Mm-hmm.
What's your predictions? Reigns is walking out with the championship, in my opinion.
Sadly, probably.
Yeah, more than likely.
They're probably going to keep building up to make him a heel. Because the thing was on Raw. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did have a bit of a
Yeah, he had
Oh,
heelish antics
yeah.
because he mentioned during his promo. He said he wasn't a good guy. He wasn't a bad guy. He was the guy.
Here's the problem, though. I, he's not the guy.
No, I know, but that's the thing.
Oh no,
Like it's
I know.
meant to
I'm
give
just
him
saying.
heel.
I'm just saying.
And
I
then he's
don't
like,
think that's gonna continue for long, though. I honestly think the WWE,
right,
because it's actually a good idea. It is a good idea what they're doing with that. But you know what they're like with good ideas. They tend to drop them.
right.
Like I say, I'd rather just him not be in the main event picture, but it seems like we're gonna be stuck with
I
it.
understand.
Uh, SmackDown was pretty much the same actually. Reigns came out and gave pretty much the same promo, just showing his lack of actual skill.
Hmm.
Um, AJ comes out to a big pop and they trade promos. We do get the debut of the VOD villains on SmackDown, which is odd.
Yeah,
Mm.
pretty much.
Uh, Natalia defeated Summer Rae with a sharpshooter, which set up actually a women's championship match, or at least it looks like it's going to, between Charlotte and Natalia, which I'd actually be really interested in seeing again. As long as they were given more time than they did last time.
And they just opened a root beer, and it ended up spilling in front of me.
Yeah, that's the problem with things like that. It tends to go everywhere.
Yes.
Uh, Miz defended the title against Ryder on SmackDown, guessing like a rematch.
Yep.
Successfully defended it.
Not surprised.
Not at all. Baron Corbin, I believe, appeared on SmackDown as well, which is technically his first appearance, I think, maybe.
I can't recall.
He might have been on which? Did he have a match with Ziggler on Raw or SmackDown?
Who? Sorry.
Baron Corbin.
I think it was. I want to say it was Raw, but
Yeah, because I'm not seeing anything here about a match with him. Yeah, it must have been Raw. So yeah, Baron Corbin made his debut on Raw as well.
yeah,
with,
it was
Cruz
versus. Yeah,
and the
he
others.
faced Ziggler at Raw. That's correct. I just looked to make
And
sure.
that's pretty much it. I mean, it seems like WWE have hit the reset button again. But
Yep.
not actually the reset button, more like the status quo button.
Hmm.
The guy they want is currently champion. There's practically little to no storylines going on at the moment. Well, there are, but just typical WWE stuff. The IC title and the US title are back to being nothing again. It's, I'm going to be honest here, WrestleMania left a bad taste in my mouth, and quite honestly, it kind of reminded me why I took a year's break.
Ouch.
And to be honest, the Raw and SmackDown afterwards have done nothing to really. Because here's the problem. Despite. If I don't know, there's just so much I just don't currently like. But the big thing is Reigns being in the main event. I'm going to be honest, that puts me off so much.
That's some. I don't know how I managed to put up with it, to be honest, sometimes myself,
Yeah.
but I guess I just try to fight through it, hoping at some point something good comes out of it.
I'm sure we'll soldier through, though, when we do the payback episode.
Hopefully.
Uh, but yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That was WrestleMania 32. In fact, the entire WrestleMania weekend, if you watched episode 4 as well, with the NXT
Yep.
TakeOver of Dallas and the Hall of Fame recap we did. Don't really have much else to say, but I do want to, at least about that. But I do have something else we're going to bring up because we have been talking about doing something else regarding this podcast, haven't we?
Yes.
Alright, so essentially what we're planning on doing is we're going to go back and watch every WrestleMania from 1 to 31 and review them as we have been doing for the previous 5 episodes. So we're going to do WrestleMania 1 and we'll review the WrestleMania. And then we'll at some point in the future we'll do WrestleMania 2 and then again do it like that up until 31. Because
Right.
we both technically have access to those pay-per-views. These will be sporadic though.
Hmm.
When the pay-per-view has gone up, like we've just had WrestleMania and we'll have Payback, we'll probably have the episode ready within about a week.
Mm-hmm.
These will be every so often.
Right.
Because we both have other things to do, and it was actually quite difficulty getting this one done because we already had to do NXT Dallas as well last week. So, anything you want to say regarding all that?
Should be pretty interesting to see how that goes.
It will be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting to go back and do the old WrestleManias anyway. A different era and different type of wrestling. It's gonna be.
You're just gonna go into it and be like, man, I still wish it were those days.
No, not with WrestleMania 1, I won't.
No, I don't expect.
I'm
that.
actually dreading doing that one already.
I'm dreading WrestleMania 2 more than I am 1.
I'm gonna be honest, I can't remember much of 2, so we'll get to that when we get to it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess with that being said, I've been Captain Turbo.
I've been Blake Thunder X.
And we thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Until then, have a good night.
Take care, guys.